Good evening. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Thank you. I would first like to welcome my fellow board members. Good evening.
Good evening, Madam Chairman.
Our town manager, Mr. Scott Crabtree. Good evening. Our clerk, Meredith. Ladies and gentlemen in the audience and those watching at home. This meeting, like all of our meetings, is being recorded. The first item on the agenda is a special award, citation. It's given to somebody that everybody on the board can call their friend. I am honored this evening to present Lieutenant Art Connors with a citation to recognize all his hard work, helpfulness, and dedication to the town of Saugus. Lieutenant Connors has been a Selectmen liaison for many, many years, and we appreciate everything that he has done, not just to help this board, but to help all of our residents. Would like to call Lieutenant Connors up, please, to the podium. I am sure that each member of the board would like to say a few words. Selectman Serino, please.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Lieutenant Connors, I want to thank you for your service to our community, but only the help that you provided this board and all these years. You're part of like our little family here, and we're certainly going to miss you, and I want to wish you all the best, you and your family. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Selectman Serino. Selectman Federico, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Lieutenant Connors, I just want to congratulate you on your years of service to the community of Saugus. My time on the board with you has been short so far, but prior to that, we were on town meeting together. You've always been more than generous as far as answering questions and, explaining any issues that may have come up. I know you had a countdown on your phone and you were looking forward to this. So I wish you nothing but the best in retirement. I hope you can enjoy it to the fullest, and it's very well deserved.
Thank you.
Thank you, Selectman Federico. Selectman Ciccolini.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Lieutenant Connors.
Yes, sir.
It has been an absolute pleasure. I've served with several officers in your capacity. You have been the utmost professional. You've dealt with some difficult situations, some not so pleasant situations, but more importantly, I want to thank you for being the person you are, the professional you are, and for all you've done, not just in this capacity, but to keep our town safe. I tell everybody we are lucky to have the best of the best in both our police and fire, and I stand by those words, and you are the epitome of a professional, and I'm honored to call you my friend. I wish you the best retirement, well-deserved, and I know you're going to continue to enjoy yourself and have fun, and it's so well-deserved, my friend, and thank you again for everything. You've been amazing to work with. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Selectman Ciccolini. Selectman Vice Chair Cogliano.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. If there's that person in town no one can ever say a bad word about, it's certainly you. I value your friendship and all you've done for the community over the years, and you will surely be missed. So thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
And I echo everything that my fellow board members have said. You have just been phenomenal over the years. Every time there's an issue, you're right there to help us out, help the residents out. We couldn't have asked for a better, more helpful, and more dedicated liaison. You've been absolutely wonderful. I'm going to ask the town manager if he'd like to say a few words.
Lieutenant Connors, just wanted to congratulate you on retiring and long and great career, and wish you nice peace and relaxation. So on behalf of the town and myself, thank you very much for all your service to this community.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Thank you all.
And would you like to say a few words before I read the citation?
Absolutely not.
With that said, I'm going to read the citation into the record if I could. Town of Saugus citation to all persons. These presents Shall Come Be It Known that on this day, July 14, 2026, the town of Saugus recognizes Lieutenant Arthur Connors for his 23 years of exceptional dedicated service to the town of Saugus and law enforcement, during which time he demonstrated unwavering commitment to protecting and serving the community. Congratulations, Lieutenant Connors, on a well-earned retirement and continued health, happiness, and success in the years ahead. And it's signed by all 5 of the board members. And if it's okay with you, would like to come up and take a picture? If you would like your family to come up as well. And we have a card for you too, so not just a citation. Well, we wanted to say some additional words. You're welcome.
Somebody blink. Yeah.
Thank you all. Next, we have our correspondence. We received a letter pertaining to question 1, the Massachusetts audit, and we have a few people here that would like to speak on the issue.
Thank you, Madam Chair and members of the board. My name is Anne Marie Cromwick and my husband, David Cromwick. We had reached out to the board a few weeks ago requesting you to consider sending a letter to the Massachusetts State Legislature requesting them to comply with the will of the residents of Saugus to have an audit conducted by the state auditor. As you know, in November of 2024, a ballot question was passed with bipartisan support. 72% of the residents of Massachusetts voted to have the legislature audited by the state auditor. And Saugus also had 72% of those that voted also supported this bill, this ballot question. And to date, they refuse to have the audit. And there's a campaign where people are asking their town councilors, their select boards, to send letters to put pressure because they cannot ignore the will of the people. So I've drafted a letter. Other communities have done this, and I'm asking you to please consider representing the residents of Saugus and asking them to comply and have this audit. Thank you.
Yeah. So
Thank you.
Just want to
Sure.
say that the Commonwealth of Massachusetts has spoken, the town of Saugus has spoken. We demand transparency from our state legislature. We urge you to sign this letter. Thank you.
Absolutely.
So, So the Board of Selectmen have already drafted a letter knowing that this was going to be coming up this evening, and I'm going to read this into the record. This letter is going to the Honorable Ronald Mariano, Speaker of the House, and the Honorable Karen Spica, President of the Senate, regarding legislative audit. Dear Speaker Mariano and Senator President Spica, the Saugus Board of Selectmen writes to express our strong support for implementing Question 1 from the November 2024 ballot. The Saugus voters approved Question 1 by 71.9%. Oh, you're going to have to change your shirt. Joining with 72% of voters statewide, authorizing State Auditor Diane DiZaglio to audit the Massachusetts legislature. The legislature remains the only state entity that does not permit oversight by the state auditor's office. While legislative leaders have claimed that internal audits conducted by a privately procured vendor are sufficient, the voters of Massachusetts have clearly expressed their desire for independent review. At that time, when Massachusetts legislature ranks among the least transparent in the nation and is one of the only 4 state legislatures exempt from public record laws, independent auditing is essential. Government entities that self-regulate pose risks of self-interest and reduced accountability to voters. Implementing this audit would enhance government transparency, accountability, and fiscal responsibility. The Massachusetts legislature shouldn't be exempt from independent oversight, especially regarding the use of taxpayer funds. We urge you to take the necessary steps to honor the will of the voters and allow the state auditor's office to proceed with this audit. Would somebody on the board please make a
So moved,
motion?
Madam Chair.
And that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion of sending this letter out?
Madam Chairman,
Selectman Sereno.
I want to thank the Cromwicks for coming tonight. I've had the opportunity several times to talk to Diane Ziegler at certain functions, once at the Italian-American Club down in the neighborhood of East Saugus. The board has a good working relationship with our state delegation, but this is not about them in particular. This is about conducting yearly financial audits, making sure the taxpayers' dollars are appropriated and they're spent on the issues that are appropriated and the bidding processes are followed. So, 72% of the people in Massachusetts did support this. All 351 cities and towns are required, including Saugus, are required to do a yearly audit. The Department of Revenue wants us to do a yearly audit, so I don't see why the state legislature should be exempt. They should do a yearly audit too, to see where taxpayers' money are being spent appropriately. So I wholeheartedly support the letter. Thank you.
Okay. Is there further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. The letter will be going out in the mail tomorrow morning.
Great.
Thank you all
so
for
much.
coming. The next item on the agenda is the 2026 state primary warrant to be signed by the Board of Selectmen. We have Mrs. Shenna.
Good evening, Ellen Shenna, Saugus Town Clerk. Hello, how are you guys doing? Hope your summer is going well.
We're great.
I am here for 3 reasons, actually 2 reasons. 1, the signing of the September 1st state primary election warrant. Usually we have this done in August, but with schedules, I thought it would be best to get it done now. It has been approved by the Elections Division, so if you're ready to sign it tonight, it's ready to be hung tomorrow by the constable.
Okay,
The
hold-
second,
Hold on for a minute. Would
Yes.
somebody please make a motion that we, seconded by, he knew what I was going to say. Seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Cogliano's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Secondly,
the second thing, as the Votes Act of 2022, you, as the appointing authority, need to appoint the annual election worker list, as well as the Saugus police officers list that work the elections. Again, this list is as current as possible, but coming up to the election, we always have to hire other people as well. Why this is a September 1st election, we usually have students work for us, but since it's before school, unfortunately, we do not this year have any students. We are hoping to have students for November. But this list is the primary list as of right now, with discretion on you giving us the authority in the clerk's office to appoint as needed, getting close to the elections.
So is the vote that you would like us to take tonight, the verbiage to delegate authority to the chief of police and the town clerk to station officers in the 6 locations, 10 precincts?
Yes.
Okay. So
And your other vote is to appoint the list that I gave you of police officers and election workers as of currently right now.
Very good. So I need a motion, please, from one of the board
So
members.
moved.
Who said that?
Frank.
That's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor of Selectman Federico's motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries unanimously.
That is all. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Mrs. Shannon,
Ellen.
can I
Thank
give
you,
you
Ellen.
this?
Sure. I'll take that now.
Thank you very much. Nice seeing you.
Nice seeing you as well.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is that we need to accept a donation from Spectrum Health on behalf of the Saugus Council of Aging. There was a donation of $5,000 that will be deposited into the senior gift account to be utilized for some of their special activities. Could somebody please make a motion to accept this
Madam Chair?
donation? Selectman Giggolini.
I'll make the motion that we accept the donation to Spectrum and as it resides in the senior gift account to be used for special activities.
Thank you, and that is seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried unanimously, and thank you to Spectrum Health. The next item on the agenda is Mr. Bob Davis, World Series Park, 8 Holden Street, Saugus, Mass., requesting permission to display, actually, it's not a banner, it's 2 banners, for the Saugus Olympic Day on both Main Street and Vine Street, and Main Street at Vine Street and Essex Street at School Street locations, so the 2 locations that we currently have.
Good evening, and I just wanted to say that we appreciate you having me come before you just to explain this event. This is going to follow the format that we've had with Special Olympics. Steve Aganis and I are partnering to do this event, and instead of the proceeds going into Special Olympics, it's going to go to Challenger Baseball and Boys and Girls Club. Challenger Baseball is an organization where they allow people with special needs to play baseball. There's one in Lynn, and then they're going to bring in a couple of others from surrounding communities to have a tournament. But we're going to have a baseball tournament with the special needs people. We're going to have entertainment. We're going to have a classic car show. We're also going to have different things for the kids to be involved with. We actually just recently got Wally, the mascot of the Red Sox, as well as we're going to have mascots from some of the other organizations there, as a hayride, a moon bounce, raffles, booths, all kinds of food and drink, and we're going to have special needs people treated with food and activities and so forth that they can do during the day. It's going to be a one-day event on September 26th at World Series Park. And as I said, it's going to follow the format of we did Special Olympics for 9 years and raised over $150,000 for them. But for some reason, they didn't want to be associated with us this particular time. But this will be pretty much the last special event we'll have at the park. But we're asking for that we can display the banners at the 2 different locations, Main and Vine and Essex and School, where the town polls are and so forth. We ask for permission to do that. We have the banners, and we're going to have the banners updated and so forth. So that's that.
Do you have a rain date?
Yeah, the next day.
The 27th.
And if that doesn't happen, we'll probably have it the following Saturday. But
And what are the hours?
9 to 4. And we invite you all to come, as well as the town manager. We're going to have an big opening ceremony at 11 o'clock. Pretty elaborate ceremony with different people speaking and music and a display of a flag. The Olympic athletes, the special needs athletes will march onto the field, and it'll be a big to do. And we'd like somebody from the town to say a few words, the town manager and yourself as well.
Sure.
And,
Would you like a citation from the board?
pardon me?
Would you like us to bring a citation from the
Yes, that
board?
would be nice, yeah.
Great.
Donald Wong is going to do some citations as well.
Very good.
Madam
board mem-
Chairman,
I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
Pardon me?
Were you going to say something else?
No, that's it.
Okay, very good. Do board members have any questions?
Madam Chairman,
Selectman Sereno.
first of all, it's good to see you, Bob. I'm glad
Thank you.
you're doing well, and I want to thank you for all the work that you do at World Series
Thank
Park.
you, yeah.
And I'll see you in
It's been a tough year for me,
Yeah.
and I just, but I'm coming back
You
and
look good.
at the field every day.
Okay. And I'll certainly be there to support you.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Mike.
I want to echo what Selectman Sereno said, and I'm sure the whole board feels the same way. You've done so much for the community over the years, and we appreciate all you do.
Thank you for saying that. Thank
We
you.
need more Bob Davises in Saugus.
We'll clone you.
I'm not sure there aren't any more.
That breed
People
don't
say you should
exist.
turn the park over to somebody else, but
Yeah.
I don't know who. There doesn't seem to be anybody out there, but.
not that's gonna take care of
I'll
it the
do
way
it
you
as
did.
long as I can,
I agree with you, Bob.
yeah.
So would somebody like to make a motion for the
Ma-
street banner at the two locations?
Madam Chair,
Selectman Chicalini.
I'll make the motion that we grant the request of Mr. Bob Davis as representative for World Series Park, so that they can have their display banners in both locations, Main Street and Vine Street, Essex Street at School Street, from August 26th to September 26th, and also that we'll waive the bond requirement.
And that is seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank-
Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
Thanks,
Thank you for
Bob.
Thanks
coming.
for all your support over the years.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you, Scott, as well. Thank you.
It is now time for our first citizens' comment of the evening. Is there anyone who'd like to address the board?
Good evening, all. My name is Janice Sclafani. Do you need me to spell that?
You could spell it for our clerk, sure.
Janice. Last name Sclafani. SCLA. F is in Frank, ANI. I live at 19 Laureen Road, 19 LAURINE. And I'm asking for guidance about a tree that's between my property and the street. I've been working with the town since March, trying to determine whether it's a town tree or private tree. I'm not an arborist, nor am I an engineer, but I am concerned as the tree appears to be contributing to structural damage on my property. I'm asking the town for guidance on determining the responsibility and next steps I need to take. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Town Manager, can you send the DPW out to assess the tree? Very good.
You
Can
said
I also
19
request-
19 Laureen, right?
Yeah, Laureen Road.
Laureen Road, yeah.
May I also request that I'm there when they do come out?
If you want to just leave your phone number,
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can figure that out.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Janice.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the board? Seeing none, we're going to move on to our first public hearing.
We had some more people. Citizens comment?
Hi, good evening. My name is Deborah Fossey. I'm a Saugus resident. I own a property at 1210 Sheffield Way in Saugus. This is my husband, Michael. We have a second property at 190 Essex Street in Saugus as well. I'm standing here tonight with 3 water bills totaling over $15,000. And I'm demanding answers regarding unacceptable delays in resolving disputed water and sewer bills. So I have 3 points I would like to address. So point 1, the revenue over explanation. The town administration had stated months ago that it was launching a comprehensive review using an outside auditing firm to investigate these massive billing spikes. Yet weeks have turned into months and residents are left completely in the dark. We have 0 formal feedback, 0 data, and 0 transparent finding from this investigation. While the administration claims it takes time to review the data, our bank accounts do not have the luxury of waiting forever. Point number 2, stalled abatement and statutory denial. When residents follow the rules and apply for a formal abatement, we hit a wall of silence. The official Saugus abatement form states that the town has 90 days to act or the application is legally deemed denied. The slow turnaround time is forcing residents into structural traps. It's an administrative bottleneck that forces families to either pay thousands for water that they never used or they face immediate penalties while waiting indefinitely for an investigation that has yielded no updates. Point number 3, financial burden and aggressive collection practices. These bills are matching or exceeding monthly mortgage payments. This is a severe financial crisis for our working families and for our seniors on fixed incomes. Furthermore, the town's practice of issuing property liens or pulling funds from mortgage escrows for disputed bills before a full investigation is completed is unjust and unacceptable. We need immediate freeze on these aggressive enforcement actions while disputes are active. We cannot tolerate an administrative process that stalls on relief but moves on lightning speed on penalties. I urge this town manager to mandate an immediate interim update on the third-party water billing audit and to fast-track all pending abatements. Thank you.
We just got a water bill at both properties, and one property, 190 Essex Street, almost identical in water usage between the 2 houses. One was $539, the other one was $2,800. How? And why isn't it being addressed by this gentleman right here? Because this has been ongoing, yet you're silent like you are on most things when it's brought to your attention. And you know what I'm talking about. That's all I have to say.
Madam Chairman,
Selectman Cogliano.
just to speak on this, I brought this, independent of the Fossies, I brought this issue up on March 24th and asked for some guidance on it, and I've received nothing, not a phone call from anybody. I filed for an abatement on 27 Sereno Way, I filed for an abatement on 310 Lincoln Ave, I filed for an abatement on 999 Broadway, and I helped my uncle file an abatement for 15 Highland Ave. And I've heard nothing. And the last time I brought this issue up with the board and with town clerk, she said there were only 15 people that filed for an abatement. So I guess my frustration is if there's only 15 people in the town that filed for an abatement, I'm 4 of them, and I haven't got a call yet. And so it's frustrating. And since this came up, I got a phone call last week from a resident of Saugus whose water bill is $192,000. And it went from $325 to $192,000. That's impossible, that someone's water bill. I don't care if there's a leak, unless it's flowing down the street. $192,000 is totally out of whack, and he seemed to think that his next water bill would be outrageous as well. So it's frustrating. You know, every time I bring it up, I get singled out that I'm picking on. I'm not picking on anybody. I'm just looking out for people in town, myself, my properties. The water bills make no sense to me. I have properties with 14 people living in them with $1,100 water bills, and I have properties with 5 people living in them or 4 people living in them, and the water bills are $3,700. So something's wrong. It shouldn't take this long. If there's only 15 people, it shouldn't take this long to get to a certain point that we can figure something out. But I haven't even got a phone call, and I know everybody in the town hall. So if you're frustrated, imagine how frustrated I am. I've heard nothing.
Well, Wendy Hatch told me chalk it up to sticker shock.
Chalk it up to what?
Sticker shock. That's the response you get from people
Well,
that
it's,
work.
it's
That's
not right.
ridiculous
It's
to
not
say
right.
that.
And I'm certainly not singling anybody out, but the way we do our water bills, if people have to wait a year to find out there's a problem on their property, that's negligence on the town's part, in my opinion. No one should have to wait a whole year to find out what their bill was last year. You know, we've got to update our billing cycle, you know, even if we go to quarterly, it's better than twice a year. And my honest opinion, I think we should have monthly water bills. Now that we have an automated system, a monthly water bill, if there's a problem, someone would know. I mean, you just had a spike on your system up 800 gallons in one day and you weren't even there.
Right, I wasn't even home.
Something's not right, and I hope that we can resolve this issue and get to a point where we can actually have a conversation without, well, being an argument. I'm just looking to resolve the problem, certainly not looking to pinpoint somebody's doing anything wrong, because I don't believe anyone is, but yet we have a problem that needs to be
Just
addressed.
need transparency, and the first abatement that I filled out was back in March, so clearly it's been over 90 days, which, does that mean it's being deemed denied? Because I haven't heard anything. I've also filled out a second abatement that I'm still waiting. March 3rd, my meter was sent out, the old meter for third-party testing. I'm still waiting on answers on that. So I've got $15,000 worth of water bills here. That's absurd.
And are we supposed to pay this? Because clearly there's something wrong.
Well, I would ask, I'll refer this to the manager, if somebody could get in touch with the Fossies and the rest of the people that file for an abatement, just to see where we're at in the process, because it's frustrating when I get phone calls, I have no answers, because I've got nothing either.
Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate it.
I'll follow up. I know that the last update was that they had about, I think, 14 or 15 abatements that were filed, and I know that they're out doing property inspections. That was a few weeks ago. So part of the process is they go out and look at, you know, how many fixtures you have, if you have a sprinkler system, check to see if there's leaks and whatnot, and then they report that back to the treasurer collector's office, which is where the bills are processed and the abatements are evaluated. So I'll have a meeting tomorrow and try to find out where we're at with it.
And if I could just say one more thing. I'm into construction. I have a good idea of what goes on and what doesn't go on in a home, but to go into a home 14 months after the bill came out and try to look for how that bill got out of whack, to me, I have no idea how that can possibly be determined 14 months later. It's impossible. If you had a leak and you fixed it, what can they determine today? That to me is just, I don't know. I wish I could make some sense out of it, like 5 people going out to inspect your property. 14 months later, what could you possibly find that's going to determine how that water bill was out of whack? Nothing.
So Madam Chair, I'm not sure that that's what the purpose of it is. My understanding from when I spoke with the collector's office is part of what they do is try to go out and determine how many people living in the house, is there a pool, you know, how many bathrooms, how many kitchens, because there's industry standards on that you can put into a system that will say like what the average range should be for water use for, like, you know, a family of 5 with 3 bathrooms and, you know, 2 kitchens and a pool and a sprinkler system. I think that's what the purpose is to try to evaluate and analyze this, at least it's explained to me, on like what the bill is and what it should be in what some type of range to see if there's an anomaly. Because obviously if you have a leak and you fix it, you're not going to know if there was a leak or if you had a running toilet if it's not doing it anymore. But I do think like that with the new meters, and I would keep encouraging, I think they're in the 90s, but the new water system, you can monitor it so you can see when you have spikes, and you can see it
watch it every day.
rather than, right, a 6-month, you know, like where they do the bills, you know, they've been doing this for 100 years, and that's sort of why we're looking at a different system. And as you know, when we've talked about water, to go to a different system of billing, you'd have to fix the whole rate system. So it's a huge, you know, complex problem because the rates would be different if the bills are issued differently because there's different tiers. So that's something that would, you know, would have to be a major overhaul to try to figure that out. I mean, I think for the most part, having the newer meters definitely gives you more control and triggers whether there's a spike or if you have a leak and you're in Florida, rather than waiting till you get back and then, there's a problem. So,
Madam
but I'll
Chair.
definitely follow up. And
Selectman Chicalini.
Just a couple of comments. I just wanted to ask you, Mr. Foss, well, I can call you Michael. Did you have the new meters installed at all your properties?
Yes.
Because, Anthony, correct me if I'm wrong, I think your problem existed with old meters, right? You hadn't had the new meters installed.
Correct. I have
So it
them
sounds
now.
like there's two different issues, right? We might have a problem with old meters that either are slowing or speeding up, but yours, I think some of the new meters, it could have been a transposition error from shifting what your old usage was, the cutoff point of your old usage, might have been input. There could be an input error on the town, on the
At
company.
190 Essex Street, that's a new meter, and that's where the bill was normal.
Okay.
It's 1210 Sheffield Way, which is where these huge bills are coming from, and it's a condo.
Oh, so it's
yes,
not all your
yes,
properties, it's Sheffield with the problem?
Yeah.
And with the old meter.
With an
These
old
bills are
meter.
from the
Is it
old
everybody from Sheffield? Have you talked with your neighbors?
I've talked to neighbors and no one else is having an issue.
And only
So
you?
does the new meter, has that had any errors?
The new meter, according to the app, looks pretty normal compared to the 190 Essex Street. So
Right.
all these bills
What was
are
the
on
800-gallon spike that you
Today.
mentioned? On the new meter?
Yeah.
You saw it on your,
I see
on
it
your
high on
Essex
water.
Street or
High
Sheffield?
on water at 190 Essex Street. 800 gallons.
And when you click that thing, does it say a leak detected or anything?
Yeah, there's no leaks in the house.
Because on my second meter, I use 800 gallons just on watering. I water for 30 minutes a zone.
Yeah.
5 zones.
No sprinklers.
And it's 800 gallons.
Yep.
Right. Huh?
Okay,
No
Well,
one's- no
regardless, we don't have a ban in Saugus, so I'm not violating anything.
No one's home in the house all day.
Huh?
No one's home at all until
Yeah.
the evening.
Yeah, so that's clearly something, and that's the reason why we have the new meters. I'm also concerned, though, the older meters, we know that the reason why we're pushing people to get out of them is that they've been known to malfunction, whether it's going slow or fast. The mechanism, they say, can rot from the inside, which makes them spin faster and make it look like you're using more water than you are. That is, so I don't know, did they send out those meters? You said that they haven't got back yet?
So
haven't got back since
March 3rd, I sent the old meter out. I requested for testing. That's what I haven't heard. So all these bills are on the old meter. But Wendy Hatch had told me, she just said to me, just so that you know, when we send meters out, they usually slow down, they don't speed up. Well, these bills are showing me that that's probably not correct. My meter must have speeded up, and I have no feedback on, the investigation.
So, Mr. Manager, you said
Just
you
one
take...
question. So on your meter, are you able to take like a picture on the new meters? Just to see what the reading is, to check it with tomorrow? So that they can check to see, because like you say, I'm not an expert at this, I have no idea. I mean, obviously, we want to try to figure out what's happening. But it's a matter of trying to figure out if this is some sort of an error with the software, like where it's downloading into the system and it's coming up with a different number. In other words, they can, I think, check that, but I think part of it is you have to manually take a picture.
Street, it's a normal reading.
Right.
But at Sheffield, at our house in Sheffield, the condo,
But Essex is giving you a bad reading now, the 800 today.
yes, but today.
So you got you didn't use 800 gallons.
But, I mean, and I'm
mean,
not saying it could, but, you know what I mean, it could be something that created that, like, you know what I mean, like if maybe a toilet, but I don't know, but that's something, the newer meters, they haven't been, I think they've been reading, because people watch them.
Right.
You know what I mean, so, and
You're
I think
watching
you
them
have a
on their
reading
app.
on it, but I don't know, 800, I don't think, like Jeff said, I'm not sure if that's what that indicates, I'm not, but you know what I mean? What's that? Well, he does it just from water in the
Yeah,
lawn.
mine-
I don't have a sprinkler system.
No, I know, but
I'm
if you
looking
had
at my
like a
second
toilet
meter.
running, would
It's
that cause that? I don't know. You know what I mean?
432 to 475 is
What?
the, 432 to 475. That's the total gallons that I'm using just on sprinklers.
So I know with the app, you have to be in cubic,
I'm in gallons that also converts to cubic.
okay.
This is gallons, 432 gallons.
So there's two different
Today
settings.
was 411.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Manager, when do you think, you said you were going to take a look into this tomorrow? And do you think you could get back, or somebody can get back
Yeah,
to
I'll definitely
them?
have the collectors, I'd like to, I mean, I think what she generally does is have people take a picture of the meter
Okay.
so that she can compare into the system and then see where it was from before, but,
And can you do that, please? All right, so you could do that, you could send it to Jeannie Meredith, who works in
not
Scott's
Jeannie, it would
office?
be Wendy.
To Wendy.
It doesn't, we don't.
Oh, sorry, okay, Wendy.
They're the
Wendy
office
has-
that processes them.
So, in the meantime, while this investigation's going on, can we come up with some type of way that they can pay a reasonable amount
I think,
without?
yeah, I think that's always, I think they work with all the residents to do that. I think.
I'm
what
just
they're
saying, like-
I know, but what they're talking about is what happens is that, which has nothing to do with the town, the mortgage companies call and ask for any outstanding liens for whatever you have, and then that, I think the mortgage companies put on, it has nothing to do with a mechanism from the town. But I think that they can figure out, if they talk to the Wendy, try to figure out a way of working out the payments.
Because even if right now, if it's only 15 and you have 4 of them.
Yeah, and just if I could just say something on mine, my water bill went from 1,100 to 1,900 to 3,600 to 600, all on the old meter. So, and absolutely the same use. I am never in the house, ever. I don't cook. I sleep there, I take a shower, and I go to work.
So, Anthony, just to follow up on that when you were talking about, so I did hear something about that today. They did discover a leak with something on the ground, and they're hooked into a fire hydrant. So
Yeah.
they did determine there's a leak, which has been running for as long as, I don't know. So I think they're trying to work with them to figure that out. But the one that you're talking about is, they were hooked onto a fire hydrant. They have a couple of fire hydrants on the property, and there's underground pipe or hose that had a leak in it that they figured out, I think, in the last day or two.
And
So
that's just strictly water, too. There's no sewer on that. That's just 'cause
Correct.
they're on septic.
Yeah.
So,
Madam Chair, if I may.
Sure, Selectman Federico.
A question for the town manager, if you don't mind. Is there a way, and I think Selectman Ciccolini may have started touching on this, that going forward for people, you could essentially develop a number, whether it be 1x, 2x, 3x going forward. If a resident has a water bill, can we develop a policy in which we look at historical data for, like, say, the past 3 years, and the resident would only be responsible for that number plus the percentage increase until we resolve the water meter issue? Because my main concern is the residents, you mentioned $15,000 over 3 bills, so that's a $5,000 a cycle bill if I'm doing my math correctly. That's a substantial amount of, especially, given so many seniors in town on fixed incomes. So I don't think it's fair for the town to be asking for the full sum until we resolve the issue.
So that's a legal issue? So in other words, I don't think I have any of that authority. So I think that's something we can have town council look into, but I don't think you can it'd be like someone saying my property taxes, I don't like the way it's, too high. It went up 3 times in the last 3 years. I don't want to pay it until it's there's a whole statutory abatement process that's in place, and I don't think I don't know what authority would be to say you don't have to pay the bill.
So we have the ability to create our
So that
own.
would be something that have to be looked into legally, whether you could do that. I mean, we're only talking about 14 or 15 abatements right now.
Right.
And I don't think.
I'm just saying, in agreement with Selectman Federico, I'm thinking, forget dollars. Look at usage. We get 2 bills a year, 6 months and 6 months. If you look at a resident's usage, I don't care dollar amounts, I'm saying prior usage, and they agreed that those bills were real. If the usage was 1,200, 1,200, and 1,200 cubic feet in those 3 last prior 6-month periods, comparative, like February to August or whatever, safe to say if they got billed for 5,000, we already went out and looked and there's no leaks. Now it's testing meter, which is taking months. Can we hold a portion in arrears, let them pay the average 1,200 times the current rate?
No, I
So
understand.
it's still going to
what
be a
you're saying,
higher
yeah.
bill
I
because the
think-
rates went up.
Yeah, I think it's a matter of trying to figure out legally if how you do that. That's all. I'm
I
not-
just can
it's beyond
see,
me.
like, if we have a situation where there's a bill that's $5,000 and, now they got 3 bills, 15,000, if they don't have the money, and now we're tacking on interest and penalties and all that stuff, and then, they don't have a choice but to pay it. Or their mortgage company ends up paying it and then screws up your escrow, and then they charge you more money on your escrow. I'd want to make sure that the town we know that there's been some issues. I want to make sure the town is truly has a right to those dollars.
Sure.
If it's a small abatement amount, maybe if we say it's under $1,000, maybe we don't have to worry about it. But when someone's saying my bill was $1,000, now it's $5,000, I just think that there's enough of a delta to make me want to know that we're in the right and the resident.
No, I don't disagree
Because
with
if
you.
they pay it,
yeah,
then we just got to refund it, but they still got to come up with the money to pay it.
And I agree with you. I don't know, I'm not an expert at this, I don't claim to be. I just
No,
hear the
and
stuff.
I'm not either.
I try
could
to
be
ask
speaking
questions,
totally out of turn, and
Yeah.
John could say that's against the law, and I'm wrong for it.
I think we're willing to try, I mean, as a personal thing, as a human, I think we're trying to figure it out with everybody.
I mean, we're not saying you don't owe the money. We're saying, as of right now, we want to make sure that you owe the money, so pay us what we know you're going to owe, what's reasonable based on past usage, and then we can, you know, if the additional monies, if it comes out you had a leak, and that's on you, not on us, you owe us the other 10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not.
I think it's fair to raise that and see what they.
And if
what
John
they
says
come
it's
up with.
allowable, I would be.
Yeah.
I'd
No,
be
I don't think,
really
I think they already talked about that. No one has a problem with that. But I think the other thing is, anybody that's having a problem with the older meters should have to get the newer meters put in, because
I
it gives
agree.
us more control, it gives them more
Yep.
control, it's more transparent of exactly what's happening, so that you have an idea on a daily basis and a weekly, and then even, I know, they're very conscientious in the collector's office. They're looking at people's water things every day, people that have had problems, to see what's going on as well. I mean, and we're investigating that. We're in a process of, you know, doing all that to see if there's anything going, there's an anomaly with this, there's an anomaly with that. But it's not, you know, the bills are higher in general, right? But there's, you know, I think like she told us 14 or 15 that they're looking into and that they've been dealing with from the last billing cycle. So I think we can try to work with some of those.
The
and
other
try to
thing
figure
we've
it out.
talked about to the residents, and what we mentioned, and the engineers said this too, you have to expect the fact that most meters are slower, which you heard before.
Yeah.
So with the new meters installed, most likely, you're gonna see rates went up a little bit. We raised rates, whatever it was, 2% or whatever, starting July.
Yeah.
We raised rates. But the new meters are gonna probably register higher. Not hundreds of gallons, but they're gonna register more accurate because the old meters. I have a friend who lives in another community who's questioning his gas meter. Come to find out in the fine print from the gas company, if you didn't update your meter when they told you to, you have no right to abate. So now he's got a 3x bill for gas, but because they notified him, he got a third notice, never updated his meter, they said, read the fine print. You owe the money. I don't think that's a fair answer either, but fine print is fine print. For us, I want to make sure we got it right. I know that Wendy's on it, but she's one person, and I know the outside audit, we really can't force them to speed it up. But I would be much more comfortable if we could, if John says that this is a plan that we could put in place, suspend that revenue. If it's 14 bills, if it's 100 grand, suspend it. Make sure we got all our ducks in a row. If the residents agree and we agree that the money is owed, fine, or a portion of the money is owed. But it seems like a big number.
I think I agree, and we'll try to look at that, and I think we floated that idea before, and we just got to figure out how to, you know, who has the authority, how do you do that? I think the other part of it is that you want to try to figure out what the issue is, and I think that's the bigger thing, to make sure we ensure that there's confidence in what's going on. On a grander scale, like, you know, Anthony brought up one of the other ones. Well, we found out, I think, in the last day that it's an actual hose that's leaking and it's hooked to a fire hydrant. So in other words, there's an explanation of why the bill went from here to here. I don't know if you're able to always determine like how somebody's bill went up from one thing to another. I don't know if anybody can figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, but I think you're right. We'll look at trying to do that with the 14
Well, we also
or
have
15
one
we have.
resident who said that they don't want inspectional services to come in to review look at the house.
Correct.
So you can't put in for an abatement.
Correct.
And then
Well, it's
say
a
that we can't go through the procedures of going through the house. I get that.
Well, there's a documentation. It's the same thing as when you file statutorily for an abatement on your real estate property taxes. If you don't allow access and answer certain questions and fill an application, you're barred from doing that, and you only have a certain amount of time. But I think I'm more interested in trying to figure out what it is, what the anomaly is or what's causing it, other than, because I think every billing cycle, and it probably just hasn't been as public, I think bills in general are getting much higher. Everything's more expensive, and I think they're more impact than they were 5, 10 years ago. And so I think that it's more of a like, wow, you know what I mean, that went up. But I think trying to figure out what's doing that, but I'm not sure that, I think that, and I don't want to misquote, but each billing cycle over the years always has people that file abatements, you know, like in this range. And so they look at those issues, and sometimes there are leaks that are discovered, sometimes not. I know the new meters, when you hook them up, it gives you some kind of reading on it that tells you whether there's a leak detected or something, right?
Yeah.
You had one put in, and it tells you whether there's a leak. So that's a better system than the old ones. The old ones are, I think, we're way over the useful life, and that's why we are trying to go to the new ones, because you can't monitor them. And I think, like Jeff said, the engineers, because I've asked this, you know, last year, and I think recently when this has all come up, the engineers that design these, the manufacturers, they tell you that they're gonna, like the old ones are basically gunked up and they go slower, and it doesn't read all the water you're using. So it could be, you know, there's a whole bunch of different things, but that seems pretty high for your, you know what I mean, the bill. So, but I would take a picture tomorrow, contact Wendy, I'll talk to her in the morning, and try to figure out, like, to maybe, because I know they do this for other people. If you are in contact with, they want to help you. Nobody's looking to, like, it's not them issuing the bill, it's not me issuing, it's just the system issues that bill, and it's a matter of figuring out if there's something wrong with it. Nobody's trying to rake anybody over the coals. So I think it's trying to figure that out. But I know they talk to people on a regular basis and say, can you go check your meter and take a picture for me, so that they can compare it to that's how they used to do the old meters. I don't know how the new meters work. I'm not an expert on those.
Do you
but-
want them to send the picture to you or Wendy Hatch?
No, I think Wendy, I mean, you know Wendy, right?
Right, so
I would-
they're going to send, tomorrow you're going to take a picture, you're
Or
going to
someone
send the
in that
picture to
office,
Wendy
yeah.
Hatch,
Or
and then
just
we're going to
call,
follow
yeah,
up with
call in the
town
morning,
council to
bring it
see
in.
if there's something that we
Yeah.
can do.
Yeah, come in the morning and then try to figure out, and then on that one that you have the old meter, see if we can get the new meter on it.
Well, no, because both houses have new meters.
Oh, okay, all right, I thought
All
that,
these bills, the 15,000 are from
Ro-
the old meter.
Okay.
I haven't, my next bill should be all the new meter.
Right,
I
and-
had it installed March 3rd.
okay, and then you, Anthony, you said you had a problem with like the old meter, then when you went the new meter, you don't have it anymore?
I haven't got a bill from the new meter yet. My old.
Have you
my
checked
last
it on the
4
app or anything, or called?
I have it. I look every single day. I shut my sprinkler system off. It'll never turn on again.
Is it consistent with what your usage was in the high bills, or is it different? Do you know?
No, it's different.
So it's lower?
Yeah.
Interesting,
different.
yeah.
But,
So it could be the old meter.
Yeah, it's interesting.
yeah, but if that goes to show you the old meter, the standard wording that we use is that the old meters go slower as they get older. That's not necessarily true.
Right, but if you do
Yeah.
Google it, it says it could be either or. Most commonly, it goes slower.
Right.
But there are times when those filaments let go and the thing's free spinning.
Right.
So it makes sense if the gears are,
Yeah, we'll
If
try
they're
to,
gunked up, it goes slower.
figure out
If
what the
they-
bill,
if-
like the thing, we're not trying to, you know what I mean? Like, it's a matter of trying to figure out legally what we can do.
It may
to
be-
sort of, to hold, put a hold or abate for a little bit, and then I'll find out where we are with it. I know that the last I heard a couple of weeks ago, is they were going out, like, looking at the stuff, because I asked them, and I gave some input, you know, to have more of a formal process with forms and things, so that it's more open and understanding for somebody that fills out an abatement. There's like a different form now to fill out this, and I suggested using that, and then having a process just like they do with an abatement for the real estate property. That way everybody's on the same page, and then you can, that data that what they're trying to figure out is, you can input that and say, okay, you have a family of 3, you have 2 kitchens and 2 bathrooms. This would be a range of use for a family that's home, blah, 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 you know, industry-wise. And that way there, they have an idea of to compare that to thing, and okay, something's wrong. Now they determine, do you think, was there a leak? Do you have any plumbers that have come to the house? Things like that. I mean, most people are trying to resolve it. I just think that we're definitely in an era now where the cost of everything is so expensive, like, in general, that, like, when you're getting a water bill now, it's, you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like 10 years ago when it was like, oh, it's a few $100s extra for the usage. It's a lot of money, and I think that has a bigger impact, because if you did have a leak or you didn't, or if something's wrong, the bigger thing is trying to figure out if there's something wrong with the 14 or 15 abatements that people have come forward to say, you know, that there's something seems wrong because it's really high. You know what I mean? And it could, you know, if you have a leak, it's going to cause it. I'm not saying that that's what it is, but it's hard to determine, because if something gets fixed or it stops doing it, then how would you ever know? You know what I mean? The thing is, if we're getting billed on the MWRA side, we may not be billing the people that are having the meter issue, you know? So I think that, they're really good at the collector's office. I know, and I don't think anybody, they feel for people, and they're trying to figure this out. But we'll look into what you're talking about, and we'll try to follow up on what your issue.
I
and
think
all
we
that.
have a plan of action. Thank you both for coming this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
I'm going to move on to our public hearings. Notice is hereby given that the Saugus Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on the request of Fly 14 Livery Services, 48 Denver Street, Unit 103, Saugus, Mass., for a taxi livery license, owner Elias Lambros. This public hearing will be held at the Saugus Town Hall, second floor auditorium, 298 Central Street, Saugus, Mass., on July 14, 2026, at 7 o'clock p.m. Good evening. Can we have your name and address, please?
Hi, Elias Lambros, 48 Denver Street, Unit 103.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you'd like to do?
I'd like to operate an independent livery service and currently work part-time as an Uber driver, and I would like to get licensed and insured to be an independent livery driver, providing services in the area.
And you're located on Denver Street?
Correct.
Do board members have any questions?
Madam Chair.
Selectman Chicalini?
At first, when I saw the complex was a multi-unit complex, I was a bit concerned, but the applicant went through all the processes that I would have asked questions of. Mr. Lambros got sign-off from the management company of the association associated with Pleasant Hill Condos. They're supportive of his livery business being there. Someone noted in the comments that he has 3 cars registered to the space, but it will only be the one car that will be the livery service. It seems like all his ducks are in a row. So for that reason, I don't think we have an issue with the, being a multi-unit facility and having an issue with the management company, because we have a letter for the file with the approval from the agent. So I for one, don't necessarily foresee any type of issue with offering a livery license here.
Any other comments from board members? No. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak either in favor or opposed to this application? Yes, sir. Your name and address, please.
My name is Stephen Forlizzi.
Oh, would you mind please putting the microphone? Thank you very much.
I'm co-owner of Unit 303 at 48 Denver. My mother, 96-year-old mother, resides there along with my brother. And we got a notice on this about a week ago, given no information. What I'm hearing tonight is, I'm hearing it for the first time. I don't know who's endorsed this, but they certainly didn't speak to the tenants. This is a building that is comprised of mostly senior citizens, and mostly women at that. Again, my mother being one of them. They consider it a very nice, secure, safe place. Not a place that should be, in their opinion, and I happen to concur, joined by businesses, whatever, of any nature. Okay? I don't know this gentleman. I wish him well in his endeavors, but I have no idea what he is planning to do at this building. That, again, these women like and feel very safe living in. The area may be zoned for business. I don't know. Again, we were giving no information on this. Somebody, I guess, was briefed on it and signed off on it. I don't know who.
So typically, with livery services, they are allowed one vehicle. It's almost like an Uber or a Lyft type thing. And we get quite a few of them in front of our board, all around,
Again,
all
this is
around the
information
town.
that we were not given.
So typically what happens is they park their car there, and they go out for the day. They might go to the airport or pick somebody up, and then they come back. It's not going back and forth and back and forth. I'll let this gentleman speak towards that.
Please, we'd
But,
like to hear it.
but with that's what we have seen with all of the livery that has come before us. But would you like to respond to his concerns, please? To the microphone, please. Thank you very much.
I've been operating as an Uber driver in the same capacity, so there should be no impact. So I leave the premises, I go drive for a few hours, and I come back
Can you
home.
speak more in the microphone, because everyone needs to hear?
So there should be no impact to the residents at all, because I've already been operating in that capacity about a year and 3 months. So I go out in the evenings, I drive passengers around the area, and I come back home and I park my car. So nobody comes to the property, there's no impact at all. So it's going to be very similar to what it is today, where I just basically need to have the town give me this license to be able to do it independently. It's not really like I'm operating business, no one's ever coming over the building, there's no work being done. I just drive my car out of the property to pick people up.
Is there, if I may,
Yep.
do we have any guarantees of that? I mean, if all of a sudden we're going to have 2 and 3 vehicles, people now coming to the building, these are all our concerns.
So, sir, per our town bylaws, he'll be, and per your condo association, based on what they're allowed 1.
Okay.
So if there were, you'd have 2 means of reporting. If there were a case where it was more than 1 vehicle, you report it to the condo association, where they would take action. Then you could also come before the Board of Selectmen, and we could potentially revoke the livery license if it becomes abused. So most livery companies do this for legal protection on the car usage. Also, if you want to do Uber X and their certain type of services, they require you have a livery license and not just a standard license plate. So we've had more and more coming before us lately because they want to do that Uber X service. And I'm going to share with you, if it's okay with Madam Chair, I'll give you the letter that he submitted to us
That would be
as an
wonderful.
applicant, as well
Thank
as the
you.
letter from your condo association.
That would be great. Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I approach?
Of course you can.
Great. Thank you very much. I just have another question. Have you been operating as such out of 48 Denver? Up to now, I mean?
The only work I've been doing is as an Uber driver. I've been waiting to get this license to do the same type of work independently. So it's the same type of impact.
So you'd be working for yourself as opposed to Uber?
Correct.
Madam Chair, if I may say a few words.
Selectman Federico?
Just for your peace of mind, sir, so the actions that this gentleman has taken is actually pretty commendable. So when it comes to Uber and things of that nature, it requires a much lower insurance and it's not as regulated. By applying for a livery license, the town now has more control, in which case when he is driving for Uber, he doesn't need a livery license. That affords him the ability to do pickups and drop-offs at the airport, and as Selectman Ciccolini said, drive for Uber Black or Uber X. So he's opting to go a more regulated route. For your peace of mind, like I said, it's actually a commendable action.
I think I understand that now.
Yeah, so I totally understand your concerns. I don't think you're going to have an issue, especially where he's been operating as an Uber driver, and this is going to go above and beyond that as far as the restrictions placed on himself.
Thank you very much.
We appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak either in favor or opposed? There's a person coming out.
Hi for the
Just
board.
bring that
Pull
down.
it down.
Can it go down? Okay.
Thank you.
Ellen Pileski. I live on David Drive in Saugus, but I own a unit on 48 Denver Street, of which I received a letter a week ago. Mine is brief. It's a residential building, and I am definitely opposed to having you agree to a livery license on it. I listen to you, I understand, but it's residential, and I'd like to see it stay residential and not be issued this license. So that's my statement on it. and,
Madam Chair?
Selectman Ciccolini?
Just a
As an
comment.
owner.
Just a comment.
Yes.
I just want to, so I understand what you said about residential.
Yeah.
But just know that he's not performing business inside the unit. His car is outside.
His
And
car's outside, but where is he taking his orders from, from inside the unit where he lives?
From a cell phone, yeah.
know,
I
but
me's
it's inside his unit.
I know, but it's
He'll
a
be
tough
doing
economy.
that.
People need to make money. I mean, if he was running a business like a business formal people coming in, customers in and out, I would definitely tend to agree. But this economy, a lot of people are coming forth with livery, Uber, and using that as an alternative for additional means of support and
I
and
understand
revenue.
what you're saying, and I know what the board has been
Yeah.
granting, but as an owner, I am opposed to having it.
You do have the right. I actually sat on a condo association board for many years, and I chaired it for some time. It's not a very thankful position, but you do have the right to go prospectively. You could go to the condo association and tell them.
realize that.
You could tell them to make it a policy, because if they don't have a policy and they endorse it, it really makes it difficult for us. We don't really have any teeth to say you can't be a livery in there because the condo association has endorsed it. They're speaking on behalf of all the residents. But if the condo association passed it in its bylaws and said no liveries beyond who's already here would be grandfathered, prospectively no more liveries will come out of 48 Denver Street, then it's a non-factor. But that would require the residents, the owners, to vote.
Go to the condo association. Having that, I'm responding to a registered, having return receipt letter that I received, like
Yep.
this gentleman said his mother had
Absolutely.
received.
Totally
And-
agree. I mean,
and
you have
I
every right.
have the unit rented, and the thing is, I just want to go on the record as being opposed.
Okay. Thank
As
you.
an owner.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who'd like to speak either in favor or opposed?
Hello, Gerard Glover, 23 Howard Street. Just here, do you live in the unit there? Yes. Yeah, this is a guy who's just running his own business, trying to get away from large multi-billion-dollar corporations who are stealing more of his paycheck. This is an extremely reasonable thing. I am in total favor of this. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Comedy.
Anyone else who'd like to speak in favor or opposed? With that said, would somebody please make a motion to
Madam
close
Chair.
the
Madam-
public hearing? Selectman, who do you want?
You
Who
can give
wants
it
to
to-
go?
give it to
Selectman Federico.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to close the public hearing.
And that is seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Federico's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Selectman Federico.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve the request of 514 Livery Services, 48 Denver Street, Unit 103, Saugus, Mass. for a taxi livery license, owner Elias Lambros.
Yeah, and that's for one vehicle, and that is seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Federico's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Best of luck.
It's time for our second public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Saugus Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on the request of Wonder HDR Holdings, Massachusetts, LLC, doing business as Wonder, for a common victualer's license and entertainment license to operate Wonder, 259 Essex Street, Saugus, Mass. 01906. Wonder HDR Holdings, Massachusetts, LLC owner. This public hearing will be held in the Saugus Town Hall Auditorium, second floor, 298 Central Street, on July 14th, 2026, at 7:05 p.m. Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. My name's Daniel Brennan. I handle permits and licenses for Wonder. Here for a common victualler license, no alcohol, 259 Essex Street, formerly Santoro's building. Wonder's a new quick service restaurant concept. It's expanding rapidly. They have 100 locations currently operating. There's 11 in Massachusetts, and we're planning more in the near future. Wonder's a food hall concept where they partnered with renowned chefs and restaurants from around the country to recreate their recipes under one platform. So at Wonder, they have up to 20 menus of different cuisines. You could get a Bobby Flay steak, a Marcus Samuelson fried chicken, pizza, Chinese food, Thai food under one order. This location's 3,200 square feet. It's mostly kitchen. They're mostly geared toward takeout and pickup. They do have 12 interior seats. Requested hours are 10 a.m. to midnight. And max employees are 12 per shift, hoping to open in the fall.
Okay. And you're going to be open 7 days a week?
Yes.
And your entertainment is just going to be soft music in the background?
Yep, just background music inside.
Okay, and just for the board to know that on his application, number 6 was filled out wrong. He fixed it already. I talked with him before the meeting.
Thank you.
And so have you opened up any Wonders yet, or is this?
Yeah, so there's 11 that are operating right now in Massachusetts. There's over 100 nationally. It's mostly in the New Jersey, New York area, but they're expanding into the New England region now.
Yeah.
And you're only looking for 9 interior seats?
I thought it was 12.
No,
but
it said 9.
Okay,
An area with
then
9.
9.
Madam Chair.
Selectman Ciccolini.
So just for the benefit of the public and those that are in the audience, Wonder, it says you can get a Bobby Flay steak dinner, Marcus Samuelson fried chicken dinner, gourmet salads, burgers, pizza, Italian, Mexican barbecue, all under one order.
Yeah.
And I read the business model. It's kind of interesting how the shipping of the food and the storage of the food.
Yep.
It's pretty
That's how
cool.
they streamline,
I
like,
think
all
it's going to
those
be pretty
meals.
slick. So I think that, as far as the 9 seats, the only thing I couldn't tell on the map, and it was probably because of the way it's scanned,
Yeah,
I couldn't
it's
really
kinda-
see. I couldn't see well. I could see the kitchen set up.
Yep.
And the 2 bathrooms. It looks like they like unisex type bathrooms.
Yep.
But I couldn't see. I couldn't tell on the plan the actual seat locations based on the plan that was.
This is the plan that we have in our package.
Yeah, it's this.
Yeah, I think I have that printed here
I
too.
don't know if you noticed. I just couldn't see it.
I can't see it
I
either.
couldn't see.
So that large hatch pattern, that's all the kitchen.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is, yep.
The lighter area where the bathrooms are, that's the public area. And then the darker hatch patterns are where the seating is. It didn't print out properly to show the seats.
Is that like walking in the doorway to the right?
Yep,
That's where
walking
the
in the
seat-
doorway to the right, some seating.
Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that makes sense.
Yep.
Okay.
All
So
right.
it's mostly kitchen.
So you have a lot of chefs on duty.
Yeah, there'll be 12 at max.
No, it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, it solves the question of like, what should we get for takeout with a group
Absolutely.
of people for sure.
Everybody's satisfied.
I can tell you if it's anywhere as successful as some of the other locations. I talked to a couple of clients that have frequented the
Yeah,
establishment.
there's
and
one in Medford at
they say-
Station Landing that opened up.
They say the flow is consistent, very consistent,
Yeah.
constant.
And you
So-
want to be opened in August.
It might push, it's under construction right now, they're telling me sometime in the fall.
And there's one in Peabody that's going to be going into?
Yep, we just passed inspections in Peabody, it's not open yet.
Very good. Board members have additional questions? Additional questions? This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak either in favor or opposed to this application?
I'll speak a bit slower this time. Gerard Glover, 23 Howard Street. I'm speaking in opposed. This is a food tech concept. Wonder was founded by a billionaire who previously was the CEO of Walmart e-commerce. This whole thing is essentially to make an app where people are able to order whatever food they want, but in effect, it's causing people to not order from local businesses anymore, and instead that money is getting funneled more into those billionaires' pockets. I urge you to strongly oppose this. This isn't good for our community. It isn't good for culture. It erases it down to something that's just to squeeze as much profit out of people as possible. It's just it's made up as a food tech company. Anyway. That is my testimony. I'm going to oppose. Thank you.
Thank you. And you're going into where Santoro's used to be, which I believe has been closed since 2019. So it's been
That's what I'm
quite
told.
some
Told it
time
was,
having that vacant building there.
Yeah,
And they own the building now, right? They didn't.
No,
They
they
lease
didn't
it.
buy the building.
Oh, they're leasing.
yeah.
They're leasing it.
But I can speak to like the thought of them pushing out the mom and pop store. One idea that they float around is like one day they hope that somebody could make their own menu in cuisine and sell it to Wonder and have it be sold through Wonder rather than operating their own restaurant.
Yeah.
It's, they've partnered with other restaurants and chefs around the country to recreate this. So they're not trying to push out smaller restaurants. They want to promote it.
Is there anyone else who'd like to speak either in favor or opposed to this application?
Madam Chairman, just one more time. What were the hours of operation again?
10 a.m. to midnight.
7 days a week.
Yes.
Madam Chair, if I may,
Yes.
could you just elaborate on your delivery aspect of it? Are you using delivery services? Are you going to have in-house? And then how many anticipated deliveries are coming out of that location hourly or per day? Do you have any of those statistics with you?
Wonder bought Grubhub, so they own Grubhub, but it's managed as a contractor, so it's not directly affiliated. However, they can control the deliveries more easily than, say, a DoorDash, where they can do better batching for deliveries and call them to the store and don't have them come to the store, so they know exactly when the order's ready and such like that. They do still allow other third-party deliveries, DoorDash, etc. But their peak hours are usually more around dinner time. I don't think that in my experience, it hasn't been anything egregious from your typical quick service restaurant as far as who's getting pickups and how often the traffic's there.
Thank you.
Thank you. Did you want to get up and speak, Laura?
Hi.
Hi.
Laura Flynn, 23 Howard Street. So I do want to speak kind of in opposition because I do agree with the effect on small businesses, and I know that they've been trying to put something in the Santoros location for a long time, but there could be a ripple effect, okay? So what about the Prince restaurants, the smaller Waylus, the push cart, those types of places? They have delivery services. They have Uber Eats. Now you have it all under one umbrella. And it is really appealing to have it kind of all in one umbrella. But I think in hindsight, what it does is, like a Walmart, right? It pushes out the small restaurants, the small businesses, because it puts it all under one roof. So then what happens when our small businesses in our town start to shutter? What goes there? So just something to think about.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who wanted to speak in favor or opposed to this application? Seeing none, would somebody please make a motion to close the public hearing?
Madam Chair,
Selectman Ciccolini.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
And that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Ciccolini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Selectman Ciccolini.
Madam Chairman, before I make my motion, I just want to give a little context and let you know that I did hear the previous speakers that were in opposition. However, I do support business in Saugus. We have enough vacant buildings on both sides of Route 1. We just lost, whether you agree with the business model or not, Hooters closed, which is a large, big corporation. And there's many significant Continental other that took a while to find another tenant or someone to take over the space. I feel like it's the smaller businesses and bigger businesses, they're all struggling. I have friends in the restaurant business. It's not easy, but I do want to bring as many options as we possibly can to our residents. No offense to your service, but if you do damage to Prince Pizza, you're definitely accomplishing something. You have your hands full. That's a fight you might not want to take on.
I would say, Wonder is geared toward takeout, right? They're
Yeah.
not there to replace the
Right.
traditional
Yeah,
sit-down
I mean,
restaurant.
and I look at a lot of the new, a lot of people feel as though we have a lot of apartments and stuff on Route 1 in that venue, right? The good thing about some of these apartment complexes, if there is such a good thing, is that some people, like the one that will be located at Kowloon, they're restricted to studio and one-bedroom apartments. They're not two-bedroom and three-bedroom and large. So what that brings is a smaller clientele, doesn't put a burden on our schools and as big of a burden on our public safety. But those folks, they usually targeted more towards professionals, young professionals, are somebody that may be willing to benefit from something like this concept. It gives you more variety, et cetera. I happened to order a pizza the other night through Uber Eats. It took 57 minutes. And why is that? Because everybody's trying to do the same thing from the couple of good establishments that we have for pizza that do Uber Eats. So I personally, I do support your concept. I do support business. I understand the concept about billionaires and, you know, big corporations and things like that. That's obviously not, we already have a Walmart on Route 1, et cetera. But that being said, I think the options, if it's having a vacant building that was once a COVID testing site, or having a option for our residents to have additional dining options, whether it be takeout or not, I'm in support of that. And for that reason,
Madam Chairman, just like to say a word before.
I think he's in the middle of, are you in the middle of making a motion?
Yeah, you want to do
Can you
another
hold off?
discussion?
Let him make the
Hold
motion,
off.
let me second, and, oh, you want to hold
I'll
off?
hold off.
Okay,
Thank you
because I was
very
going to
much,
do discussion.
Jeff, I appreciate that. Just a quick word. I know, you know, your concerns, but I really don't think a 9-seat restaurant is going to hurt any sit-down restaurants on Route 1. I really don't, so I do support your application. Okay, Jeff, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. So I make a motion that we grant the request of HDR Holdings Massachusetts LLC, doing business as Wonder, for their common victuals license and entertainment license to operate Wonder at 259 Essex Street in Saugus, 01906, with the owner being HDR Holdings Massachusetts LLC. Hours of operation will be 10 a.m. to midnight, 7 days a week. I'm not going to put a maximum number of employees. We will put a maximum number of 9 interior seats. Their estimate is 35 employees total, but whatever it takes to serve. The volume is as long as you have enough parking spaces outside. That's with nine seats. You don't have a lot of required parking, so that's not an issue. I don't think there were any recommendations that came through.
No,
I did not see any recommendations. I know you're working with the health department on finalization of menus and things like that. Anything else?
Entertainment.
Oh, and it's just the one?
Yeah, they wanted just the soft music. In the
Yeah, on the entertainment side, we will allow the soft music, background music to be played, no live music.
Correct. Thank you.
And that is seconded by the chair. And me too, I understand your concerns, but I do hope that this is going to be a value added to our community because, I mean, you know, perhaps somebody comes home at 11:30 at night and they're really hungry. At least they could stop there and do takeout. And I'm a late night person myself, so. So we have it seconded for the discussion. Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Ciccolini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Good luck to you.
Congratulations, welcome to Saugus.
Congratulations to you. The next public hearing, number 3. Notice is hereby given that the Saugus Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing for the purpose of receiving comments and considering amendments to the Town of Saugus Board of Selectmen licensing fee schedule regarding application fees for special permits, which are S2 applications, and the transfer of liquor license applications. This hearing will be held in the Saugus Town Hall Auditorium, 298 Central Street, Saugus, Mass, on July 14th at 7:10 p.m. So just a little bit of background. We did ask for recommendations of fees from inspectional services and fire, and did you get anything back? So we did ask, like we've done in the past, if there's any sort of changes that any of the departments would like to see on fees. What we did talk about at our last meeting, we'll talk about each one separately. The first was on S2 permits, and Selectman Federico was looking for a timesheet, basically trying to estimate the time that it takes our clerk to work on an S2 permit. And she said it's anywhere between 9 and 15 hours that she's doing that work. You see what she did? Okay.
Yeah.
So, and then we took a look to see what some of the other communities were charging for S2 permits. Currently, we charge $100, but the work that it entails clearly is more than $100. I believe, and she's smiling at me, I think what we talked about at our last meeting was perhaps going from $100 to $250. Do board members, you feel comfortable with that?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to save that, and we're going to go to the next one. The next fee that the board wanted to discuss is a transfer of liquor license applications. Today, we charge nothing for a transfer, and you can see there were some liquor license for some surrounding communities. There's some dollars. The town manager helped us at our last meeting, giving us some dollar amounts, and you can see how long it takes our clerk. It takes her anywhere between 22 hours and 30 hours to work on a liquor license transfer, depending on how difficult, how many times she has to go back and forth from the ABCC, and the town doesn't charge anything for that. At our last meeting, we were talking about figures anywhere between 250. The board felt uncomfortable with 500. Somebody said perhaps 300, but you could do the math, whether you're using 22 hours or 30 hours. We're talking quite a bit of manpower to do this type of work.
Madam Chair,
Selectman Ciccolini.
just throwing this out there, again, now that we have context as far as hours. So if we take an average on the, on the special permit, average of roughly 10 hours, because complicated versus non, if we say 10 hours. What if we were, if we're thinking that's 250, we can't apply the same logic, 250 for a transfer on a liquor license. I would be willing to even consider going lower on the special permit transfer, maybe make that 200, and maybe make the transfer of a liquor license like 300 or 350. It seems like it's much more, it's 2.5 times more labor intensive, and I feel as though, we probably should align the level of effort it takes to perform the task with the fees associated. That's, first of all, a lot of the liquor licenses transfers aren't really going to happen anyway. A lot of people are trying to ask too much money, and they've been turning them in. They haven't even been selling them and transferring them. So that was a problem of the past. I think we might have missed that window. But the last few places that held on to them for a while, they ended up, a couple of them already turned them in. So we might be talking about something that's not going to be that prevalent. But I would be willing to go lower on the S2 and maybe consider going a little higher on the liquor license.
Selectman Federico, how do you feel about that?
Could you repeat the proposed for each?
So if we did $200 on the S2, which is 10 hours, so you're talking $20 an hour is what you're basically charging. The average on the other one is 25 hours. So even if we cut that down and went to $350, it's still not even $20 an hour. It's like $17, $16 an hour, something like that. So, but I think it at least puts the level of effort that goes into the work, it aligns the fees with the level of effort as opposed to just...
I mean, at those prices, I don't think it covers the labor completely, but I do think it...
But we also want to remain somewhat cognizant of what others. Malden's 200, Revere's 225, Chelsea's 325.
I think it kind of conveys a sentiment that Saugus is working towards being, more business friendly. So we're not trying to hit people over the head with these.
Right.
So we're kind of meeting them halfway on these fees. I have no opposition to that.
We get a lot more S2 permits than we do liquor license transfers.
Right.
We don't get very many. And if they're buying a liquor license, obviously, or it's being transferred over, they're probably buying the business as well.
Yeah.
Selectman Sereno?
Whatever the board wants to do is fine with me.
Okay. Selectman Vice Chair Cogliano?
I'm fine with whatever Jeff's figures are fine for me.
Okay, so the S2 permit would be 200, and a transfer of liquor license would be 350. Okay. This is a public hearing. We have been discussing this now over the course of actually the last year, and then we had a big discussion on it last week, and we had to have a public hearing on it. So we're being completely transparent with whatever we might charge a business. With that said, is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak either in favor or opposed to what we're proposing to this application? Seeing none, would somebody please make a motion to close the public hearing?
Madam Chair,
Selectman Federico?
before we close it, should we discuss a potential grandfather date so that any applications current, when will this go into effect? As soon as it's voted on?
Yeah, anything that's already in the pipeline would be exempt.
They're fine,
Yeah,
okay.
because we didn't have it in place when we received their application.
Excellent. That's the only
Yeah.
concern I had.
Yeah. We would make this prospective for anything not in the pipeline. Yeah.
Perfect.
Anything else?
That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so would somebody like make a motion to close?
I'll make the motion to close the public hearing.
Thank you, and that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries 5-0. Selectman Chicalini?
Madam Chair, as discussed, I will make a motion that we increase the fees for a transfer, an S2 permit, to $200 for the fee, and then for the transfer of the liquor license to $350. These fees will be effective for any new applications, not existing applications that are already in the pipeline.
And that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And we did our due diligence. Just as an FYI, the vote was actually taken back in July 15th, 2003, from the Board of Selectmen back then, that they would review all fees set at their June meeting every year. So, and to also CC Inspectional Services and Fire Department. So we're just doing something that was you were probably on the board back then, voted on that many years ago. Our next public hearing, notice is hereby given that the Saugus Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing to consider amending the Board of Selectmen licensing fee scheduled by establishing a policy application process and fee for bring your own bottle, bring your own booze, BYOB. This hearing will be held in the Saugus Town Hall Auditorium, 298 Central Street, Saugus, Mass. on July 14th, 2026 at 7:15 p.m. So there were a couple of things that we wanted to follow up on. First, we took what the town of Ayer, A-Y-E-R, did, and we changed it to the town of Saugus for a policy. I said that we would, and I think Selectman Chicalini, you liked this one. This was actually sent out a while back, all the different policies that people had. So you should all have copies of that. And then we talked about whether we wanted to have a fee or not, and how different it would be. So we all should have received copies from town council of what we can and cannot do. And he says that many cities and towns have policies rather than requiring a permit to allow for BYOB. Some of the BYOB found were Boston is $400, Amherst is $20, Ayer, which we're copying Ayers anyway, is $100, Watertown is $300. So we have a policy. If the town wants to move forward with having a BYOB policy, we have something to, again, we're just using something that's already in play and has worked for them. And if we want to charge a fee, some sort of nominal fee.
Yeah. So, Madam Chair?
Selectman Chicalini.
Yeah, I definitely, first, just fix the, there's a small typo under definitions, under licensing authority. There's a typo there. So
Where is that?
Under definitions, where it says licensing authority.
Yeah. Thank you.
It looked like. So.
Meredith, no, I'm kidding.
So, I would support a nominal fee. I'm thinking like maybe $150, if someone wants the right and the ability to serve beer and wine. It's not it's not that significant. I mean, we charge $100 for an application for a license or a common victualers, so $150 for something as important as allowing people to drink on your premises. I would think that that's a $150 fee would be in line.
Okay. How do the board members feel? Okay. I see people shaking their heads. You okay?
That's fine.
Mike?
I just have one question. We just got this tonight.
Okay.
I like the format. I like it simple, like your ears. I
Yeah.
think it's a good way to go. The only thing I would add is there any where could we add another number 15 and put that they must follow all our the town of Saugus's liquor rules and regulations that we have in place now?
Absolutely.
What do you think? That's my only thought on it.
Must follow all Saugus liquor rules and regs.
Just to cover in case we missed anything.
No, absolutely.
Okay, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you.
Madam Chair,
Selectman Federico?
I may be missing it, but an expiration to this, or is this indefinitely once it's issued?
There is no expiration. Oh, you mean, you're talking about for like every year? they
Will
have
it be
to
an
renew?
annual license?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
this will be a renewal just like everything else.
That's fair. I was actually potentially petitioning for that, but I just didn't see it. So as long as that's in there, they'll have an expiration. Excellent.
If you want to put put something else on here as well, renews every year.
Yeah.
We'll just add, yeah, I read it as well, but it doesn't hurt to add it again. Okay. We're just kind of working teamwork here. Alrighty. So we have, we don't have a motion on the board, but this,
No.
you're thinking 150, and it looks like everybody is good with that. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who'd like to speak either in favor or opposed to this BYOB new policy and fee? Seeing none, would somebody please make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll offer that, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Selectman Cogliano. That's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Cogliano's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Selectman Cogliano.
Madam Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the new policy that we have with the $150 to $100 fee. Is it 100 or
150.
150.
150 fee, and that it's renewable every year.
And with in the policy too?
Yes.
Perfect. And that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Cogliano's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you very much. It's now time for our fifth public hearing. Notice is hereby given that the Saugus Board of Selectmen will conduct a public hearing on the request of Pay2's BOS1 LLC, doing business as Paymore, for a used car license, used good license to operate Paymore 600 Broadway, Unit B, Saugus, Mass. 01906. Connor 2's owner. This public hearing will be held in the Saugus Town Hall Auditorium, second floor, 298 Central Street, on July 14th, 2026, at 7:20 p.m. Hello.
Hello. My name is Ryan Knutson. This is my associate Montana, representing Pay2's Boss One LLC, seeking a used goods license for our secondhand electronics store. So Paymore as a whole is a safe place for consumers to come to sell their unwanted electronics. I think everyone here can think of a place in their home where it just old phones, watches, things like that just sit because there's no safe way to dispose of them, or there's not enough value in those devices to properly dispose of them. Paymore solves both of those problems. If something has value, we scan a nationwide database by the serial number to see if that device has value. If it doesn't, we also offer a free recycling service with a certificate of erasure or certificate of destruction, if applicable.
And your store hours are going to be Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m., and closed on Sunday?
It'll be 10 a.m. to, or no, that's correct. 11 a.m. to 7 p.m.
I'm just reading.
No, you're correct.
Well, no, sometimes things change, so
Yes.
we always want to double check.
No, yes, that is correct.
And you're going to be opened up where the martial arts place used to be, right in front of where Home Depot
Exactly
is,
right. Next
right
door
in front
to
in
the
that mall.
FedEx shipping facility there.
Do board members have any questions?
Not questions, but I don't think we would necessarily have an issue from the health inspector. He was talking about any donations or products, and not to build such a capacity they become a nuisance or serve as rodent harborage. I don't think that would be a factor, considering it's all electronics. There's no
Right.
perishables or anything like that, right?
No, we do not take medical
And when-
devices.
If they're
Right.
taking refrigerators that still have food in them.
Yeah, right. So for your recycling program, though, nothing goes out like in a dumpster or anything? You have certain trucks and stuff that come to pick that stuff up?
Exactly right. They're done as product comes in, they're shipped off or transported away.
Okay. It's actually a pretty neat concept, you know? It gets rid of the stuff the hard to recycle stuff. I mean, we have a charm center in town, but, you know, it's another option. It's you recycle for free, and if someone brings it to you at no value, you'd still take it and recycle it for them. I think that's pretty nice convenience to the residents.
Do you fix things as well?
Currently, no, we do not do any repairs.
Any other questions from board members?
Madam
Selectman
Chair.
Federico?
A couple quick questions for you. The first being, do you guys have any policy, database, or anything like that? How would you deal with authenticating a device coming into you to know that it's not stolen, it's actually the original owner?
Yeah, great question. So we start every transaction, we do ID scans, and we store those. We scan serial numbers, and they're uploaded to Leads Online. I don't know if you're familiar with that. It's a police database where they can tie those serial numbers to stolen products, open cases, things of that nature. Those leads are uploaded daily to deter any of that situation. We also train our employees to ask discovery questions, you know, where did you acquire this device, and kind of refusing service if something is suspicious.
Excellent. And you had mentioned, in addition to electronics, you'll be taking power tools, anything electronic, essentially, anything with power?
Yes, yep, anything electronic.
Can you elaborate on some things that would not be power tools or electronics that we may not be aware of?
Yeah, large appliances is a big one. Kitchen appliances, things of that nature where we just don't have the space. Larger TVs, again, anything medical, we refuse those things.
And those are things you're not taking?
Yes.
Okay.
Mainly electronics due to size would be the only things we really turn away for our recycling program.
Excellent.
So if I came in with a microwave, you would would you charge to get rid of it, or do I just give it to you and you recycle it for me?
So if it's something that can fit in our store and we can recycle it properly, then we'd take it. We'd offer a store credit for your time for that service, so you wouldn't have to pay anything yourself.
Thank you. Any other questions? Seeing none, this is a public hearing. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to speak either in favor or opposed to this application?
I do just have a question. Is your recycling certified in any way to like in East Stewart certified or R2 certified?
Yes, we work with a national recycler program for certifications. I don't know the exact certifications off the top of my head. I can provide those if needed, but we do work with certified recycling programs.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to double check because there is a large issue where a lot of e-waste gets shipped to lower income countries, and then that becomes an issue where a lot of child labor is involved, things like that. So just double check on those sort of things. Otherwise, I'm totally fine with this.
Any other comments from the audience?
Madam Chairman, just one question, Meredith, or yourself. Do we do query checks on valuable good licenses? Do we do a query check on this application? No, on valuable good licenses. I was wondering if we do query checks for the applicant. No. Yeah.
No, we haven't had one in a very long time.
I don't think we've had one in a while, but I think we used to do them when I was back.
I thought we did,
Yeah.
but since I've been back on the board, this is the first, I think, application that we received.
If you want, we can do one, we can make that a condition.
Okay, sure. That sounds good.
Will you be running the store? Will both of you be running the store?
So we have a local manager. He wasn't able to be here. He got ill today. But his name is Ash. He will be the one managing the store here.
Okay, so if we could ask him, we're going to run a query on him, if that's okay?
Yeah, like a background check, sort of.
Yes.
That's all it is, yeah.
Absolutely.
Very good.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we need a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
That's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Selectman Chicalini.
I'll make a request to grant Pay-To's Boss One LLC, doing business as Paymore, grant them a used goods license to operate Paymore, 600 Broadway, Unit B, Saugus, Mass. 01906. And their hours of operation are Monday through Saturday from, of course, I flipped off that page, but it was 11 to 7.
Correct.
11 a.m. to 7 p.m., Sundays closed, and it will be conditional upon the manager completing a successful background check.
And that's seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Chicalini's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 5-0.
Okay, good luck.
to you. When do you hope
Thank
to
you.
open?
Hopefully next week.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yes.
Thank you. Good luck to you.
Thank
Good
you.
luck.
Best of luck.
Madam Chair, just a quick question. I don't know, maybe Anthony or Mike. Did these type of businesses have to register with the police or no? I thought there was something, I don't know, because they don't come up that often.
Yeah,
Like the,
we
the
haven't-
pawn
certainly haven't
shops.
done
and-
one in quite a while.
I don't remember having one in
Like the pawn shops, like it's similar, right?
Very similar.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll look into it, but I don't know if there is a requirement for that. I thought there was, but way back. No worries.
Like that?
I just figured I'd bring it up.
Yes, we already voted it.
Do you want me to call him back?
Look it up. We'll figure it out. I'll have to look into it.
Would somebody make a motion for a 2-minute recess?
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Okay, seconded by the chair. All those in favor of Selectman Cogliano's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're going to just take a 2-minute recess. Thank you. Good evening. We are now back in session. Under new business, we have traffic at Howard Street and Main Street intersections, which has been an issue now for quite some time. We had a discussion about this at our last meeting, and I'm going to ask Selectman Federico to give an update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So before all of you, I have an AI-generated rendering. Obviously, there's a couple impertinent concepts. So forgive the typos on that. So in my first proposal that I'd like to see if the board has any feedback on is on Howard Street, there's one lane that is currently unmarked. In discussions with DCR, the DPW, and the like, they had recommended a straight and left turn arrow paintings to denote the traffic pattern in that, as many people will stay in the left lane and still turn right onto Main Street. Proposal 2 and 3, I'd actually like to withdraw for the time being. I've gotten mixed feedback on that, but the majority of town meeting members were against the no right on red from Howard Street. A lot of people coming from Wakefield and the Voc area were in favor of it, but I think this would disproportionately disenfranchise Golden Hills and Juniper. So something I'd like to keep in our back pocket for the time being is a no right on red, and those no right on reds would be during peak hours, not consistent. And again, per feedback of the DPW, on the island in front of Village Plaza, they asked for, or not asked, but they had mentioned a left traffic to yield to oncoming traffic or something of that sort, just to make it apparent to people, as a lot of people are cutting across oncoming traffic. And lastly, for the town manager, I had mentioned this prior, that so in conversations with DCR, one of the first things that they had mentioned to me was we just need enforcement because too many people are blocking the intersection. So if it's something we can get Saugus Police on board with, I know they're busy. So, you know, maybe in between calls or what have you. I definitely don't want to add to their burden, but it's something that the residents in the area for some time have been pretty upset with. In addition to that, I know the town manager has in the past invested upwards to $25,000. Is that even more than $25,000 to improve the intersection? One of the things that came to light prior, as I mentioned in the previous meeting, was that there's a nodule that communicates between Main and Fells and Howard and Main, and that nodule was brought to my attention that it wasn't installed. It in fact was installed, it just was not functioning. I was made aware Wednesday or Thursday of this week, that nodule has been repaired. I think the traffic signaling may still need to be tweaked, but I think that's going to see some improvement with the traffic pattern there. So again, the three big things that I'm looking to have the board's input on is the painting of the left lane on Howard going towards Village Plaza, and the sign on Main Street basically saying yield to oncoming traffic, and then obviously from the town manager if we can get enforcement.
Madam Chair,
Selectman Chicalini.
through you to Selectman Federico, the only thing I would definitely suggest is we would want to get a recommendation from the police department traffic oversight, just to make sure that they might have even more, might suggest more signage or something.
Yeah.
But I highly doubt they would be opposed to additional arrows and markings to try to make things better, but they might even want to take it a step further. So I would support any proposal, especially if it has the blessing of the police department.
So, Madam Chairman?
Yes.
So I think this is great. One of the things I can suggest, and I don't want to make it so that it delays anything, but we have like traffic engineers on retained that we use for many things. It might be a good idea if we submitted this up to DPW and have the traffic engineers look at this and then give it to us in writing so that specifically the specs on what they want.
100%.
You know what I mean? That way and these are great ideas, and that way it gets formalized and it's on them for what they're, like confirming these proposals and then giving us specs on what to put for where to put the lineage and all that. And
So
that way-
tonight it's kind of just a little exploratory. I have
Yeah.
spoken about it in the past. I kind of just wanted to put visuals to what I've been talking about.
This would be real helpful, I think. I mean, it looks like it would be.
Yeah, so honestly, the more input, the better, in my opinion. If we can get, the traffic engineers on board. I do know, in addition to what I stated prior, DCR's traffic engineers were out there and they were focusing more on Main and Fells, not so much Howard. They are going to be updating some signage in the coming months. Obviously, the state works extremely slow, so we may see some new signage on the Fells. But I would not be opposed by any means. I'd actually encourage. I can get with the DPW, forward this over to them, and ask them for any more suggestions, and as well as Saugus PD. I would be 100% interested in what they have to say.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope in proposal one that people would understand they could go straight or take a left, but if that markings, if that helps, sure. I mean, anything that might help is fine. Regarding no right on red or within, it's difficult to enforce it between hours.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of hard.
Well, I think you withdrew the 2 and 3.
Yeah,
right?
those, after speaking with some of the town meeting members, I think it would disenfranchise, like I said, Golden Hills and Juniper. So for the time being, I'd like to essentially strike those. It's something we can discuss if it doesn't improve. However, I mean, we have, and even the markings, I'm still skeptical on, because we have markings that basically say left turn into Village Plaza coming from Wakefield, and people will still drive straight through the intersection and not take the left into Village Plaza. They think that it's actually a left on the Fellsway. So really the biggest thing is obviously going to be enforcement. And I'm not saying writing everybody a ticket, but at least, you know, advising people like, hey, don't block the intersection, please follow the traffic markings, things of that nature.
Frank, we've been dealing with this now for decades. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. We've been dealing with this for decades, this issue. In fact, I have a letter, I went back in my notes, and I have a letter that our town manager wrote to Representative Wong and talked about the signaling problems and the light issues, because this has just been problematic. I know that there are some people here that want to speak. This is under new business. This isn't under public comment, so it's not typically, but I'm going to make an exception because I know you're antsy to get up and speak. But as soon as everyone finishes, what I'll do is we'll open up, if it's okay with the board, we'll open up public comment now instead of having one at the end, because I think folks would like to speak. Is that okay with everyone? But I do think that, you know, this is helpful to look at something, anything that we can do to improve the traffic there, because it's always congested. You come out of Village Plaza, because I eat the Irontown Diner all the time, and then you try to, because I got to take a left, and it's always so much traffic, and I don't care what time of the day it is. Do any other board members want to say anything before I ask Laura if she'd like to speak?
Madam Chair and the Board of Selectmen, thank you so much, and Selectman Federico. This has been ongoing, and I can tell you exactly when it started. It was June 2016. DCR changed the lights at the Lynn Fells and Main Street, and I immediately called Scott Crabtree about this issue. And the lights did not sync with our lights that we control at Main Street and Howard Street. What that did was, so the lights were no longer in sync at Howard Street and Main Street. So that means that vehicles that were turning off of Howard Street no longer could make a right-hand turn, because there was no green light for them to go ever to cross over the Fellsway. And vehicles coming out of the Village Park Shopping Center also had no place to go. I worked with Corinne Riley and Donald Wong, and they put the signage with the town that said, do not block the intersection, and the big X there that everyone drives over, and they still block the intersection. Because, I will tell you why. The light at the Fells and Main Street, regardless that the sync doesn't work, it turns red. The light at Howard Street and Main Street stays green. So if you're traveling from Wakefield towards Route 1, that light's red down there, that light's green. They just keep going. So now the intersection is completely blocked. Now, Howard Street and Village Park turns green. There is nowhere to go. That's why people in the left lane turn right to try to make a left-hand turn. It's desperation, or you are never getting off Howard Street. You're never getting off. It's forced people to go the other way down Howard Street and go down Juniper Street and come out by the baseball field and come back down Main Street. I can't leave my house anymore on Howard Street. It's like Revere Beach Parkway. I have to yell at people and tell them to turn their radios down. I mean, this is how bad it's been since 2016. I don't think you understand like the gravity of how bad it is.
Yeah, I do every time I go to the DPW.
Yeah,
compost site and
right,
come
exactly.
back.
And now,
It's a
and
mess.
the other thing DCR did was, for some reason, there's a delay between the green light at the Fells and Main Street and the left-hand turn. Why? Why is there a delay? There's nothing else happening. Why isn't the left green and the straight go to the same time? And then tonight, when I'm driving home, after I have to fight traffic from downtown Boston, the light that used to be green and hold back the monsters coming from Wakefield so I can take a left onto Howard Street now blinks yellow. So of course I have to be aggressive road rage Laura and yell out the window so I actually can take a left onto Howard Street because they have a green and I only have a blinking yellow. And if I don't do that, I'm never taking a left. And that's really what I wanted to say. It needs a redesign. No arrows are going to change it. People ignore the signs. It's horrific. An immediate thing would be to get the lights to both turn red at the same time, both turn green at the same time, and to have the left arrow to turn left on the Fellsway, turn green at the same time.
And that is the DCR who changed the lights, you
Yes,
said?
in June. You know how I know it was June of 2016? Because my son left the Oaklandville in June of 2016. And all of a sudden I was like, what just happened? And that traffic backs up on Howard Street into Melrose. It's lovely. Can't leave my house, even on Saturdays. Can't get out of my driveway.
I know how.
You know.
I know. I don't live where you live, but I know where you live, and I know how bad it is.
You know how bad it is, yeah, yeah. And, you know, so that's, I just wanted you to have the history of when it started.
Sure.
Who did it? It wasn't the town of Saugus who caused this problem. It was DCR. And I know they didn't want to talk to the town. They didn't want to talk to the town engineer. I've walked up the stairs to the town engineer to try to talk to them. And they're like, we did a traffic study. I'm like, well, that's great, but unless you coordinate with DCR, it's not going to change. It's not going to stop people shortcutting down Juniper. It's not going to get me off my street. It's not going to get people out of the Village Park. It's not going to stop the accidents, people being T-boned, the road rage. It's crazy.
Oh, I know.
You
It's-
know.
it-
So I honestly thank you for talking about this. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for trying to resolve this.
Thank you.
Madam
And
Chair.
we may contact you too when we come up with some proposals.
Yes, please.
Because you know it because you live right there.
I do.
So.
I do. Yeah.
Okay, thank
Madam
you.
Chair, if I could add a couple things to that?
Sure, Selectman Federico.
So in regards to what you were saying, this nodule, to my understanding, once it's synced, will actually trigger the lights to be green at the same time. The issue that was happening prior was because they weren't communicating, when a walk button was struck, it would unsync them and they would have to be resynced manually, and or they would go through so many cycles that they would resync.
The walk button to where?
On
Selectman Federico?
Fells. So that would throw the lights out of sync. So this nodule that was repaired should resync the lights automatically after that walk button.
This is since 2016?
It was just repaired as of, I believe, Thursday.
Since, no, I'm just asking since 2016.
There's no way to, from the town's contractor that was out there, which happens that they're also DCR's contractor, so they were working on both
Okay.
lights at the same day when I was out there with DCR, the DPW,
Okay.
and the like. The DPW director asked, is there a time parameter in which it stopped working, and our contractor had mentioned that there was no way to tell when it actually stopped.
Okay.
So it very well could have been June 2016.
Okay.
It could have been 2 days before we had the meeting out there as well.
Okay.
There's no way to tell that.
I will definitely look.
I'm just trying to be like overly optimistic in this situation.
I would love that to happen, so
Yeah.
I will look at that. Is there any way that the left turn signal and the left straight, because there's nothing else going on, can be green at the same time? That way people that want to take a left onto the Fellsway can go at the same time the people are going straight, and that way the people that are coming out of the Village Park that want to go left, they doesn't get all clogged up.
I think our traffic engineers, would be the ones to consult on that.
That's DCR's light, though.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were talking Howard. So DCR, I can ask them.
Yeah.
I do have a
Our
follow-up with
engineers are
them.
the ones now that made it a blinking yellow, instead of it was a green and then went blinking yellow.
Correct.
So now it's a death blinking yellow. So if you're behind anyone who's elderly, they're not going to go left, so you're never going to turn onto Howard Street.
I mean, at the end of the day, there's a lot wrong with that area.
I know.
I want to be fully transparent with
We
you.
know,
So
we all know this. We're not saying it's perfect.
Yeah, when DCR was talking, they were literally talking in seconds. I don't think traffic is going to be resolved 100% in that area.
No.
It's literally shaving half a second to 2 seconds off your commute. If we can achieve that, I think it's going to show some
It's
sort
even
of
just the traffic moving.
100%. I mean, that's the goal at the end of the day.
That's just moving.
So I think a lot of this is preliminary. The town manager has been super helpful.
Like I said, I sincerely from the bottom of my heart
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I do want to mention real quick, the town manager has been super helpful. He actually composed a letter to Senator Creighton in regards to this. I'm now just bringing it to the board's attention. I didn't want to come in blind. I kind of wanted to educate myself on it. As Chair Panetta had mentioned, the board in the past has reached out to the state delegation as well as others. So I think this is just kind of like essentially a starting point. And there's going to be trial and error. There may be things that.
I completely understand.
And through you, Mr. Chairman, we've tried to coordinate we've spent a lot of money over the years since 2016.
I know you have, yeah.
Trying to get them to coordinate the lights, and every time the lights are coordinated, then it only lasts for a little while, who knows? But we did upgrade. There was a whole upgrade that we did over $30,000 worth on our lights. It's just hard, I guess. The challenge is coordinating with the state and the state's lights and trying to get engineers to agree on a system, because we can come here and say, okay, do this, and then you try it, it's like trial and error, whereas you hope that at least traffic engineers have some expertise. Some of the times it doesn't make sense, but they usually are able to sync the stuff, and they have like a rating system in the sense of how they can improve it. It's not a great system because there's too many, the lights are too close together.
No,
But I mean, even
completely
coming out
get
of the
it.
Village Park, when you can't even get out of there.
No, I know.
It's, you know what I mean, and it's really difficult. But
yeah.
we'll keep trying to, I think it's great to continue,
I
continue the
appreciate
efforts and
this.
try to get this to work.
Yeah, and the communication is great, and that's what I just want to see movement on it. We want to,
If we had control of the state lights,
I
it
know,
would be a lot easier.
it would have
That's
been
the problem.
fixed back then, but, and it's DCR, and
Yeah.
DCR shouldn't have control of any traffic.
But the funny thing is that
They don't even
the
mask on.
subject from 11 years ago, traffic
Yeah.
delays on Main Street at the Linfields Parkway called by the DCR.
Yeah.
We have been trying now for so long to get this resolved.
I know.
But we're gonna continue to try to get this resolved.
And I think, just to add to it, I think Selectman Federico, I think it's great that he's explained, like, it may only make minor or things that might not even be as noticeable, but if we can improve a little bit, and keep trying, then maybe it'll work.
Anything is good.
It's much appreciated. It
Thank you.
really, really and truly is.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to add something that the previous speaker didn't already say?
Yeah, I just wanted to add on. I totally agree. I think any iterative change, I think trial and error, do the trial and error, whatever it takes. I think a lot of the time, especially with traffic planning, we are way too thing of trying to come up with a final solution rather than testing something out and then seeing if it works and then maybe changing and adapting from that. That proposal, I'm pretty sure that my mother, Laura, has given to you. This is the basic proposal I put together, concept, basically. I put together basically of a final solution, which would be a double roundabout. That is a more simple intersection. Under the QR code, you can see in the screen recording of the software I've used, which is InfraWorks, which is a known like concept creating. Currently, based on Mass DOT data, I could kind of pull online the intersection total area handles around 3,000 vehicles per hour at rush hour. Under my simulation, it was 3,500, and the double roundabout system handled it with very little backups. The longest backup was longest approach was around 22-second delay. This would reduce, I mean, Mass DOT has data on this, that fatal injury and crashes get reduced by 78% in a single lane roundabout compared to traffic lights. Non-injury crashes are reduced by 48%. So just in general, as a long-term solution, increasing safety, increasing traffic flow, roundabouts are basically the end-all solution, at least in my opinion, but of course, I think reasonable qualified traffic engineer would probably agree.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that work.
Yes, yeah.
Thank you, we
if you want
appreciate
to
it.
speak to me at any point, my information contact is right there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Mike Minnie, 18 Juniper Drive. I think what you've done is a little gone a little bit sideways. You've created a monster on Juniper Drive with the lights at the Linfelds and Howard Street intersection.
We haven't created anything. It was the DCR who changed the lights. We didn't create it.
Okay, I'm sorry then, but by the lights being changed.
Sure.
Even the left turn from the Linfelds to Howard Street is no longer a left turn arrow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a yellow light immediately. It used to be a left turn arrow, and now it's a quick yellow light, blinking arrow, which causes Main Street to come down and plug Howard Street again. They don't let Howard Street take a right on red.
Mm-hmm.
Your theory of no right on red at a certain time, I think is wrong. I think it's going to hurt Howard Street. But Juniper Drive is the cut through coming down from Wakefield. Everybody wants to free up the traffic coming from Wakefield. Now with Northeast Regional starting to finish up, and with all the communities that are going to be west of Saugus, they're going to be flying down Juniper Drive. Juniper Drive is now known as the Speedway of Saugus. Somebody in their infinite wisdom raised the speed limit on Juniper Drive to 30 miles an hour. Nobody goes 30 miles an hour. They do 40 and faster. They pass on Juniper Drive, they're going to kill somebody. As soon as they turn right on Howard Street, heading towards Melrose, you had a serious accident just a short while ago, no more than 2 weeks ago. We had a radar put on the front of my house, right on the light pole, for traffic control and speed. It was put up on a Friday and removed on a Monday morning. There's no traffic on the weekends. There's no school coming from Northeast Regional. They did the traffic control on the weekend, which we couldn't understand. We need the speed limit, first of all, reduced on Juniper Drive, and the lights, God bless you, good luck. I don't know how you're going to change that at that intersection, but I've been here for 49 years on that same house, and Juniper Drive was a cakewalk. Now it's a speed limit. Yesterday, my wife almost got hit. There was nobody on Juniper Drive. He came around the corner up near where Officer Vecchio used to live, and then he just opened up and almost hit her. It's getting bad. I haven't seen a police cruiser on Juniper Drive in years. Years. And that's not a lie. I've contacted Mr. Crabtree's office 4 times, spoke to a young man, never received a phone call back. That's not the way to run a town. I'm a citizen. I deserve the same respect as each and every one of you. And I'd like to see things run properly. I'm a little late in years, but I think you guys can do it if you put your heads together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Andrea Krizak, and from Harmon Road, that's Upper Main Street on the Wakefield line. So we're part of the Wakefield we're not from Wakefield, but trying to get into Saugus. And I thank you. That's all I have to say, thank you. I think that there's more than one issue. I know the lights are an ongoing problem, and I guess, you know, sooner or later, hopefully that gets fixed, but I think there's 3 or 4 issues altogether that are blocking that intersection. Definitely the arrows, they're there now, but they need to be brought into all the way over into the Village Plaza, not just there. I don't even know if you could have a sign, left turn into Plaza only, because these people do know what they're doing. They're not accidentally not taking a left, as nice as you were about that. Yeah. One of the bigger problems that I have seen in that little tiny intersection is 1 car or 2 cars or more that don't belong in there is all it takes to add to the blocking. On Main Street, there is what was put in years ago. It was called a bike lane. And everybody drives in the bike lane, over the white line in the bike lane. So when their traffic is backed up, sometimes almost to the Elks, you've got cars passing the bike lane because they're being nice and letting, I guess originally it must have started so that you could let somebody into the Village Park. If you're in that lane, you can watch at any given time at least 8 or more cars pass you, go all the way down, maybe 1, maybe 2 will go into the Village Park, but when that green light changes, those cars are going straight. They're not all taking a left on the Fellsway. Some are going straight, and some are cutting back over into that little intersection and taking a right on the Fellsway. They know what they're doing. People need to stay out of the bike lane and get back over. It just started. I don't know how long it's been going on, years now, but it just happened overnight. People didn't do that, and then one does it, and everybody follows. So in Peabody, on Lynn Street, at Bartholomew Street, and I do have a picture on my cell phone, they have those poles, those flex poles, and my suggestion is to put those flex poles up along the bike lane on Main Street going to the intersection of Howard and blocking people from riding in the bike lane. Put them back on the street where they belong. They don't belong there. It's not a driving lane. Put them back over. And I don't think it's going to fix it, but I think it will eliminate a lot of, I think it'll help an awful lot to do that. And I won't talk about the right on red, because that does the same thing. So, and I guess I'd just like to see that overnight. I think during the day, maybe they should eliminate it and just have it go overnight. But
Overnight, right
it would be a
red?
last resort, I guess, that one.
I'm sorry, what did you say about right on red? You like it, you don't like it, you want it at certain times?
If you're coming down Main Street, you're going towards the intersection, and you're the person like myself who does not want to block the intersection, and you've got a green light, but maybe somebody is just taken the left into Howard Street. So you've started to go, they go, you start to go, you're still at the green light, but now you've got people on Howard taking the right on red. So they're in there, and now you're forced into blocking the intersection.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
so,
Yep, that's true.
you know, it's just 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 issues.
Well, there's pros and cons with
I can't
that.
hear you, I'm sorry, honey.
There are pros and cons
Yeah.
with that, and I see both issues.
Yeah, I was one of the people that advocated for the right on red in the beginning, and I love it. I think they should have it, but it's somehow, it's being taken advantage of when people have the green light, so. But those people being nice in the bike lane,
We gotta go.
I just.
Thank you
I
very
can't-
much for your comments. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'm going to be very quick. I know that
It's late.
it's very late. Hi, my name is Lisa Ambrosino. I just moved to Saugus
Can
about
you
a year
put-
ago.
can you talk right into the
I'm
mic,
sorry.
please?
Yes, my name is Lisa Ambrosino. I just moved to Saugus about a year ago. So I live on 20 Juniper Drive, also with Mike. Thank you. Thank you. I moved to 20 Juniper Drive about a year ago, and I thank you for recognizing the Howard Street and Main Street issues. I actually sometimes don't even go home. I work in Boston, and I usually go home 90 north and go through Stoneham and Melrose just to avoid that traffic mishap. But my concern with this is the same as Mike Minnie. Since living there, I've noticed how fast people are driving on that road, and it is pretty scary. I don't have any children, but I do know that my neighbor across the street does have grandchildren that, you know, drive bicycles. I mean, there's just a lot of, you know, children in the area, and I worry about the cars. I know sometimes when I'm backing out of my driveway, I'm actually backing out, and cars are not even allowing me to back out. I'm actually backing out, and they're just, it's kind of scary. So I'm just worried. I know we'll never be able to stop people from cutting through Juniper Drive, but if we can do something about the speed limit or do some kind of like speed bumps for that street, if we do something with the traffic on Main Street.
Well, the town, there's an article that passed town meeting to look for traffic calming, so that could perhaps be an area that we could look at for traffic calming.
That would be great. I mean, even if we did some kind of speed bumps or something like that.
Thank you very much,
I
and as the
appreciate
town manager said, welcome to Saugus.
And thank you. I appreciate your letting.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the cable license renewal status letter. We received a letter from the Department Secretary of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts wanting to know what the town was going to do with our Comcast cable communications, which expires January 31st, 2027. I wanted the town to know that we have been working with special counsel, Ira Zalesnik, and he met with the attorneys for Comcast. He explained that we have more than 5,400 paid subscribers, and that's sufficient enough for them to want to renew their license with our town. So we wrote a letter back regarding the cable license renewal status and telling them that we are working with Comcast and we hope to renew, and we're working towards that goal. And I will also let you know that we've reached out to SCTV. They also know, so we have to look at their bylaws and look with their agreement with the town as well. And we haven't done this now for the last 10 years, so it was a 10-year renewal. So this is very important to our town. Town Manager's report. Mr. Town Manager.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to remind everybody, I only have one thing. I don't want to take up too much time here, but people are starting to get used to the warm weather and the heat, but it's still dangerous, and people have to, I think, be alert and aware of it. So we did issue a, following along with the National Weather Service, we've issued a urgent notice regarding an heat advisory and forecast for Saugus that's in effect today, 11 a.m. all the way until it continues through Wednesday, tomorrow, about 8 p.m. And they're basically saying that's, again, forecasting dangerously hot conditions for today and tomorrow, with heat index values that could exceed 100 degrees for much of southern New England, including Saugus. National Weather Service cautions that hot temperatures and high humidity may cause heat illnesses. Residents are encouraged to take precautions during predicted heat, such as never under any circumstances leave children or pets alone in a vehicle, drink plenty of fluids, find an air-conditioned space or other cool spot for relief, stay out of the sun, and please check on your family, friends, and neighbors to make sure that they are safe during the extreme heat. Heat stroke is an emergency, so please call 911. In the event of severe power outages or any extreme heat issues, which is always our policy, emergency shelter will be activated at the Saugus Senior Center if needed. Anyone in need of shelter or a cool spot for relief and emergency services should contact our Saugus Emergency Management, 781-231-4175, or call 911. We're here to help. Our police, fire, emergency management, and public works department, our emergency medical, and our emergency medical services are here to assist the residents of Saugus in any way we can. Please do not hesitate to call. Thank you and be safe. So I just think it's important to remind residents, because I think we're starting to, think that this is normal, but it is dangerous weather and people can dehydrate pretty quickly. So please check on your neighbors and call if you need any assistance. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Town Manager. Do board members have any questions for the Town Manager this evening? Okay, moving on to approval of minutes. Would somebody please make a motion to approve the
Madam
minutes
Chairman.
dated June 17th, 2026?
I'll make that as a motion.
And that is seconded by the chair. Is there further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Selectman Sereno's motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries unanimously. Now we're going to move on to members' comments. Selectman Sereno, can I start with you, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chairman. Just this Sunday, July 19th, is going to be the 12th Annual American Cancer Society Car Show Cruise Night. It's really a good time. It's the 12th annual event. Guy Mole's in charge of it. He does a fabulous job. I usually go there every year. If you're free Sunday, come on down. It's between 4 and 8. Thank you. And Knights of Columbus is having a craft fair on Saturday, August 8th, from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. It'll be held at 57 Appleton Street at the Knights of Columbus, across the street from Stackpole Field. Veterans Day, the brick program, the vendor, I guess, retired last year, who was engraving the bricks, and they have a new engraver. And anybody interested in that, call Corrine Riley at 781-231-7995. And that's all I have. Thank you, Madam Chairman.
Thank you, Selectman Sereno. Selectman Federico.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to take a second to thank everybody involved on the 250th Celebration Committee for putting on a wonderful display. Unfortunately, I had prior obligations, but I've gotten so much positive feedback from people who attended. I'd also like to thank the town manager for a trash issue that you helped the resident with a week and a half ago. That worked out perfectly. Thank you very much for that. I also want to mention on August 1st, from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., there's Cars and Cops Car Show, and hopefully everybody can get out there and attend that. It's probably one of the best car shows I've been to in a long time, so thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Selectman Federico. Selectman Ciccolini.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick shout out to DPW. A few calls last couple of weeks since our last meeting. Guys got right out there and addressed, and I know it's not easy in the heat, and when it's 95 degrees out, no one likes to do that, so that was great.
You're welcome. I'll pass that along.
Yeah, please pass that along to them. And also, I just didn't know if you were going to mention it, but I know
Go ahead, mention it.
SCTV's hosting a movie night, Jumanji, in 1995 movie. Interesting to see what that's going to... I don't know if I've ever seen it.
It's a good movie.
July 28th, Tuesday, July 28, 2026. Starts at 5:30 p.m. I believe that's going to be at Potcher Field behind Target, next to the Kasabuski, and the movie will start around 7:30. There'll be free popcorn and water, photo booth, games. There'll be a food and snack vendors for purchase, and then T-shirts for purchase as well. So that should be a fun community event.
And don't forget your bug spray.
Yes, you'll definitely need some bug spray, I would think. I've coached in that field back when it was a baseball field, and it was never limited on bugs. So, but that should be a great night. It's nice that they're doing that for the community. So, that's all I have.
Thank you, Selectman Ciccolini. Selectman Vice Chair Cogliano.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Manager, any update as to Uma Flowers, if they're still going forward with their project?
As far as I know, I haven't heard that they were not.
Okay.
I think I believe the last time I heard, maybe a month or two ago, they were, I think, finishing up with the planning board.
Okay.
So I haven't heard anything since. I know that all the licensing for both places is moved forward at the state level. So I don't, you probably know more than I do, but I think they were in front of the planning board a while back, and
Yeah, I know they went to zoning, planning, and then I didn't know if there was an issue with conservation. The other place looks like it's getting ready to open, and I haven't seen anything going on there. I was just curious if they're...
I think like it just probably the planning board taking some time. You know, they have different things that they have to update, but I think there was some kind of modification. I think they were trying to address the driveway issue at some point. So that's the last I heard, but I can look into it.
Okay, thank you. And then the other thing I had, Mr. Manager, I talked to a resident at 100 Adams Ave. Across the street from them, there is it looks like maybe a two-family house, possibly a three, and they have a dumpster that they wheel out to the street. And I've noticed that, number one, I don't know why they have a dumpster. They should just put their trash out like a regular home. But the dumpster is always over full when they wheel it out, and they have a serious rodent issue there. If you could have someone take a look at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have regulations that prevent people from using a dumpster, so I'll have the trash and recycle look into that. They're pretty good at policing that stuff, so.
Thank you very
You don't
much.
know the number, but you're right across from 100.
99.
It's number 99?
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Selectman Cogliano. Couple things. I want to shout out to Derek Hickman and Jackie Hickman for coordinating the 4th of July at the Lyndhurst again, July 3rd and 4th, along with the Brian Mays Band and all the volunteers, including Mark Bell. It's always a wonderful event. Just to echo what Selectman Federico said, I want to sincerely thank everyone who participated and attended the 250th celebration of our great nation, especially the 250th committee that I was honored to be a member of, along with Corrine Riley, Jean Swanson, Gail Casarino, Janice Giroux, and Ellen St. Leclerc. Special thanks also go out to Anthony Spezielli. He was John Hancock. I want to thank our town manager for all of his contribution, and our very own Selectman Cogliano as Ben Franklin. And I liked the hair.
I'd rather be bald.
That's what you said, but I liked the hair. Thank you to Representative Wong and Janino for their citations, along with thanking our own board for the citation that was presented for that event. I want to wish Lieutenant Giugetti, Lieutenant Connors, Sergeant Vecchio, and Officer McKinnon a happy retirement, and would like to thank them for their service with our town. And I did get a request, and if you don't mind, Mr. Manager, I'm going to ask you if you could follow up on, I guess there was some work done on Johnson Road, and I guess they tore up the street, and I don't know if the DPW can go back and take a look at that.
Was that a DPW or a National Grid?
I think that it was National Grid is it National Grid who will go back and fix it? Because National Grid told them it was going to be the town that was going to go back and fix.
If it's a National Grid project, the town doesn't fix their trenches. It would have to be National Grid, but I'll find out. Johnson Street?
Johnson
I just don't
Road,
recall
please.
that as somewhere where we were doing work. That's why I thought maybe an isolated National Grid
Yeah,
thing, but
there's-
they're responsible for the repair.
She sent me all sorts of pictures and is pretty upset because I guess they came in and they did some...
Do you know what, is it the whole street, or is it in front of somebody's house?
According to these pictures, it looks like it's a good part of the street.
Like a
so-
trench?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
So,
National Grid.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, no worries.
And I also appreciate everything.
Yeah, no worries,
We call
yeah.
you all the time and you help out.
No worries. So
behind the
just so
scenes.
the thing, that it wouldn't, the town doesn't repair National Grid thing, they're responsible, but it is a challenge getting them to come back and to follow up, but
Yeah, I
we'll
guess
get on it.
They
With-
did
does
some
it-
gas work, and I
Yeah.
guess the gas thing is sticking up still, and when they went out and they talked with National Grid said, oh, no, it's the town, call your DPW.
Yeah, no.
So that's kind of went full circle.
There's an ongoing thing always with National Grid in all the communities that we struggle with, trying to get trenches done correctly and followed up and repaired, and you know, it's a work in progress for us and other communities. And there's, as you know, you can look around, there's tons of work going on everywhere, so.
I know. I know. We see it throughout town.
Madam
Thank
Chair.
you.
Selectman Chicalini?
Just a comment over, I just want to let Selectman Cogliano know, 99 Adams Ave, it's actually a 5-unit condo building, and the condo docks are probably what dictates them having a dumpster, because I know that there was one where, you know, the gentleman, his daughter
Yeah.
used to live at the one at the corner of Vine, and they're required, because it's a condo, that building on Corn, if it's 4 and above and it's a condo unit, they require them, the trash company won't pick up.
So
for a
we
condo
can
building.
take a look, because I'm
Yeah.
not sure if we're even supposed to pick up on that type
Right.
of thing. You know,
Well, to his
but
point, if
two
you're
is
bringing
if
the
it's-
dumpster out to the street, like what?
Yeah,
what is
two, if
that?
it's creating a rodent issue, then that's about a health
Yeah,
issue as well.
right, no,
But the
no doubt
dumpster
at
thing
all.
could be picked up privately, it might not even be, I mean, I don't think we would, our trucks would pick
But
that up.
if they have a dumpster, they gotta required to close it in and do all that stuff to prevent
Yeah.
that stuff.
Correct, and
So it's
possibly they
okay,
need a
maybe
bigger
they're
one.
right to have a dumpster, but they're not maintaining the dumpster,
Yeah,
the
that's
the
exactly
way
the
it
problem.
is, you know what I mean?
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
I'll have
Yeah.
them both look into it, the Board of Health and.
I hope to see people at the Knights of Columbus Craft Fair on August 8th from 9 to 3 at the Knights of Columbus Hall on Appleton Street, and there's going to be various goods, refreshments, and raffles. Should be a lot of fun. And lastly, I just wanted to mention that our next meeting is going to be held on Tuesday, August 18th. So I'm going to wish my fellow board members a great rest of the summer.
Same to you, Madam Chair.
Same to
It'll
you,
still
Madam
be
Chair.
summer in August.
It will
Let's
be.
not rush it.
It will be, but it's going to be a little bit, and wish everybody else a wonderful rest of the summer.
So moved, Madam Chairman.
Yes.
I didn't even have to. That was the motion to adjourn.
Yes.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Second by the chair. All those in favor of Selectman Cogliano's motion, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Good night.